experimenting a little bit on offense, running a few pass plays here or there, just to see what they had. But that game was never in doubt. And what else I was impressed with was the Crest defense. Beeson kid sticks out in my mind. Few others that were playing up front. They really, really dominated the line of scrimmage. And what impressed me is they did it in a 3-4, Kevin. 3 defensive linemen, and they were able to get penetration on just about every play. I think Forest View still trying to figure it out on quarterback. They had one kid named Dawkins, another kid named Reed that took turns playing quarterback. And, just trying to figure it out. I don't know if either one of them is the starter, is somebody hurt, or they just trying to figure things out. Somebody graduate, it's one of those situations. Somebody graduated early or, one of those situations. Forest View has a few good athletes, but, it was really no contest. Turnover field, 5 turnovers for the Jaguars, Kevin. 5.
Phew.
4 fumbles and an interception.
That's the one thing, interceptions is one thing. People make plays, you make bad throws, things happen. Can't fumble the ball, especially against good teams.
Bad snap. There was a bad snap on the first drive.
That was contagious last night. I know you were at one game. Yeah. Trust me, it was everywhere last night. It was bad snap, bad snap, bad snap. I think there was one game, maybe two of the first 3 drives were over their heads and turnovers. It was weird last night as far as the snaps go and the coaching.
Yeah,
and the coaches weren't happy at all.
And Crest, they're going to get a few of those basketball players back as well, Kevin. So I think Borders plays football. A couple others on that team play football. So when they're at full strength, I just think they're going to be a tough team. They're going to be a lot to handle this year in that conference. I don't really see anybody who could challenge them in that conference. Do you? I don't know what Huss has got this year.
Football-wise?
Yes.
Kings Mountain have a chance.
Kings Mountain. You think even without Pacehour?
He made them see Tom, that's one of those, are the Warriors still good without Kevin Durant type things.
Yeah.
Like he made them really, really, really dang hard to beat. Like about impossible.
Because you got to double them every time.
And he put a show on it in that game. Like, what we talk about the rules in overtime all we want. He put a show on in overtime. And I only wish that they would have been on the other side, switch sides of the field, so he would have been throwing it to our end zone because they kept throwing the left side to him, and I guess that's his hot spot. He caught everything thrown that way. They're solid. They're going to be solid. The defense is still going to be good. They've got young guys that are going to be pretty decent. So I'm not saying they're going to win the state or anything. I'm saying it's not going to be a cakewalk or anything for Crest. I don't believe. Did they throw the ball at all, or
they threw it a little bit? They threw it a little bit. They're much more effective running the ball. It's not that they can't throw it.
Right? You never.
He's got the Fuller kid's got a pretty good arm. I think he needs to work on his touch a little bit. But he's definitely, arm strength is not a question. He can really let it go. And I was impressed with his arm strength. He's work on a few things. A couple of times it looked like people weren't on the same page. This early season stuff. I was really impressed as well with the Crest offensive line. Kale, Surratt, a few of those other guys up front did a pretty good job opening up those holes. And something I talked about with Brent was I was impressed with the patience of the Crest runners who waited for the blocking scheme to open up the holes. So it showed maturity and patience on the Crest ball carriers.
That tells me, Tom, you might see if you agree with me, that they have been practicing the run a lot.
Yeah, they have.
And maybe that's a testament to a dedicated run to where if the runners are patient like that, you just don't teach that in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes Ruff would take the snap, and sometimes Fuller. That creates a little bit of confusion there of who's the ball carrier going to be.
I thought Ruff was the quarterback, and I saw a lot of handoffs to him.
Yes.
And so we were sitting here thinking, I was like, well, I don't want to say anything wrong. Maybe he's playing running back this year because of college or something. But you were saying he was kind of doing both there.
There's a little bit of both.
Okay.
I like the direct snap to the quarterback, and he runs. You do have an extra blocker. You can bring somebody else in there, somebody else to block because
you're using analytics, Tommy.
Well, no, it's not. It's not rocket science. did that a lot. I mean, if your quarterback is an athlete and can take that pounding, which they do it, you do that more at the college level and you do it more at the high school level. You don't really want to see it at the pro level too much because you get your quarterback killed. But I like, I would do that. And, of course, not every play that I ran the ball, but I think it is effective when you can have that extra blocker in there and your quarterback's your primary runner.
So they won 38-13, folks. Let's give you the scores from last night real quick. I was trying to find my camera wasn't turned on yet, so let me back out of that. I thought it was a minute ago. Where did I just put me and Tommy? Hey, there we are.
That was 6-0 for a while. West Lincoln ahead of North Lincoln, but North came back to win that game.
Yes. See if Tom, you kind of really hadn't looked through the scores. I'll tell you what, why don't you give them first, and then I'll go through some highlights that are being tweeted out right now from some of our folks out at the games.
Okay. Chase 56, Cherryville 9. That one's significant to me because Chris Cogdell, my longtime coworker at Burns, longtime coach at Burns, defensive coordinator, goes over to Chase, gets a big win, 56-9. Sorry for Coach Pruitt and his guys, but a 56-9 win, Chase over Cherryville. Congratulations to Chris Cogdell on your first win as the head coach. As I was speaking about earlier, Crest 38, Forest View 13. North Lincoln comes back. That game was 6-0 West Lincoln for a while, but North Lincoln wins a defensive slugfest there, 10-6. East Rutherford and RS Central are playing tonight. You can listen to it on WAGY. Over in Belmont, a game that I missed, Burns stops South Point on a late 2-point conversion, wins the game 28-27. So big win for Coach Devine. And as Jeff Jones and Brent Pasco were saying, if you were listening to the broadcast there, Bill Shuford Heating and Air pregame show, that game, those two and Shelby are the top three, or have to be the three favorites in that conference. So by their victory over South Point right off the get-go, that puts Burns in a good position to get a playoff spot. Only 2 playoff spots in that conference this year. So that was a huge win for either one of those programs and get a win there. So Burns goes on the road, goes to South Point. That's impressive going to South Point and getting that win, although with the crowd restrictions, not as bad as it usually is. But Kevin, when you go to Belmont, you're down 7 when you get off the bus. So any win down in Belmont, you need to cherish that win. So it's Burns 28, South Point 27. East Gaston and Shelby are on WOHS 101.5 and KTC Broadcasting. Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones on the call on that one. Kramer and Kings Mountain. Is that tomorrow? Is that an S you have up there?
Yes.
Okay, that looks like a backwards Z, but I guess that's an S, so they're going to play.
Is it not curvy enough for you, Tom?
Does
my S need to eat some more fast food, Tom?
I guess
my S's aren't curvy enough for you?
I guess that's what it means. Saturday.
Tom don't like his skinny letters.
No. Okay, so Kings Mountain and Kramer, Saturday. Berry Academy defeats Ashbrook 31-13. North Gaston and Hunter Huss are playing tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Jefferson, our friends at Thomas Jefferson, get a win over the Community School of Davidson 25-9. Mountain Island is playing East Lincoln tonight. Lincolnton, a winner over Newton Conover 27-13. Looks like that Lincolnton program may be back. I know they've had some down years there, Kevin.
Well,
maybe
so
they're back.
The report on that one is that it was kind of a close game. Neither team really did much of anything. And those two late Lincoln scored 2 late touchdowns to like pull away. Newton Conover actually led 13-0. I'm trying to get the description right according to Jason was at the game, but yeah, he was trying to describe it as it was kind of weird that it looks different, that it was a different game than the score makes it look, is what he was trying to say.
Okay. Pine Lake Prep and Bessemer City are playing right now. I thought the last score I saw was 14-0. Pine Lake Prep ahead of Bessemer City.
It's gotten worse. It's 30-0.
Well, when you're trying to play with 16 dressed players
on the road, an hour away in the rain,
I just tell you, man, that's tough. That's tough.
What do you do?
That's tough.
I think I'm trying to remember the Ironmen. You know what their original name, what they were named after. They had a team that their original teams only had like something like that, like 16 or 18 people, and they named them the Ironmen for playing both ways.
Talking about
pretty much
Cherville?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where the nickname actually came from. Was
Yeah.
their early football teams. That's what I've been told. And it could be a complete lie.
I don't know. The mamas might need to get busy in Bessemer City making some babies. We ain't got enough football players over there.
That's the biggest problem. You got to make babies to play against the Charters, and they just they go get who they want in those divisions.
That's right. Maiden defeats Bandy's 21-7. I know it's with a heavy heart at Maiden High School. Tom Brown, longtime coach there, passed away. Thoughts and prayers to his family. I know he was at Maiden for years and years and years. I know he came back and did East Burke for a year or two. He was coaching. But Tom Brown, I didn't know him personally, but I know he's a football legend in this part of North Carolina. So I know there's lots of people that will miss him. And once again, thoughts and prayers for the Brown family. But Maiden, a winner over Hunter Yancey's Bandy's Trojans, 21-7. Fred T. Ford seems to be on the upswing the last couple years. They get a big win at Patton, 28-6 last night. High Brighton all over Bunker Hill, 50-13. West Iredell and Drone playing tonight, so we'll try to get you updates. As is West Caldwell and East Burke. Now, I was just at East Burke on Wednesday, and I thought I heard the coach say they were going to move that game to Saturday, but East Burke playing tonight, according to KTC's board up there.
That hasn't been updated since last night, so a couple of those are. I know the Mountain Island East Lincoln is tomorrow.
Okay,
so that has been rained out.
Okay, and Mountain Island, East Lincoln, and I just said Friday, so it's not taking place until Saturday. Okay, so it's tomorrow. All right, as I'm stretching my eyes to see.
Where you? I'll get the last score if you need me to.
McDowell and Hickory. Is they playing tonight, Kevin? Do you know?
No, I haven't got to 100% check, but
okay. Freedom and St. Stephen supposedly
we'll do that
tonight.
in just a moment.
Is that right? South Iredell 7, Alexander Central 2. Is that a baseball score?
Yes. That's all I can say is yes.
That was the final score.
Yes.
7-2.
Yes.
So a 3-run homer in the bottom of the sixth gave South Iredell the cushion to beat Alexander. How does that happen?
You're correct. I'm going to go Ed Sullivan on you. You're correct, sir.
You're correct, sir. All right, 7-2. That's not a mistake, and that's not a baseball score. That is a football score. 7-2.
Think about this, Tom. Well, the defense, you guys did a good job and held the other team to 7, and we got beat. I mean, you held the team to 2 or whatever it is. Yeah, you held the team to 7, and you still got beat.
That's unusual. Watauga and South Caldwell on the schedule for Friday. Don't know where that game's being played, but if it's at Watauga, I believe they're
the bottom is supposed to be the home.
Okay. And then is that Christ the King and Union Academy?
And we're going to do some searching here on this magical interweb that we have. And folks, we're going to actually let's do that. Let's do the highlights of Pine Lake Prep and Bessemer, Tom. Before it's already 30-0. Let's just go through the game and what's going on. And folks, we're going to take you through. This is Pine Lake Prep and Bessemer City. Pine Lake Prep's up 30-0. So it's going to be all Pine Lake Prep highlights to start the show. So let's scroll down here. Brian Nichols is out at the game, sitting in the rain, being all tough. So we want to make sure that we give Brian his props. So they started off opening kickoff. Tom, that's not how it works, is it? 8-0. Pine Lake Prep. So we'll get out there. He didn't get the name, but they returned the opening kickoff. Highlight here from Brian Nichols out at Pine Lake Prep. And he's out there in the rain. They bobble it. And that's what's bad about it. They bobbled it about the 20. They went up the sideline, and by 11, obviously, Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. There's only 4 or 5 there on the sideline. So Brian's sitting up in the stands there. Press box is not big at all over there, so I can't really say that they just didn't have room for him or whatever. So there's the first score that made it 8-0. Then 14-0 and the 2-point conversion, no good. I was watching myself, Tom, right before you walked in on this one, as quarterback's going to go off left tackle with a little shake and bake. Nope, that was on the extra point that he got smashed. This is when they squeaked in. Yeah, He went on the left side right before this and got hammered by the Bessemer defense. It's like, oh, they might make a stand, and then it's 30-0. So that did, my hopes did not work out on that. All right, this is the next touchdown from Pine Lake Prep. Sitting at about 30-something yards out. Option left side. Quarterback keeps it. Then he turns it back to the right side up the middle, and he'll score from out there. Stumble into the end zone on the AstroTurf. Pine Lake Prep goes up on that score, 22-0 in the first quarter with 1:57 left. Again, Brian Nichols is out at the game doing this for us. Pine Lake Prep goes up 30-0 on a 5-yard touchdown run against Bessemer City with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. So here's the 5-yard touchdown run from the Pride, Tom. That's their nickname, the Pride. Pine Lake Prep.
Is that
Pride.
Union County?
That is Mooresville, whatever county that
Iredale
is.
County. Okay.
Whatever county that is, it's Mooresville.
How do you not know what county Mooresville's in? You've lived here all your life.
I'm not big on
counties.
Like the 4 counties that we work in.
Yeah.
And Mecklenburg. Other than that, I can't.
I'm bad at
that.
Steve Robert is
counties.
looking down and just with scorn upon you right now.
I just don't. I remember us doing counties in like 3rd or 4th grade, but other than that, I don't ever remember like just going over the counties again.
Well, 8th grade, you were supposed to do it.
Okay. The Tanner got him up a highlight. He's in the booth, protected by the.
Got a little chilly last night.
He did it really. I'm sure it's even colder tonight. Brian's sitting out there in the tent under the rain. Let's see this final score from Pine Lake Prep to start off our highlights here. Right side running back cuts it back up through the middle, gashes the Bessemer defense and scores.
Kind of interested in the score in the Shelby game. Did you get an update on the score on that?
We'll get that in just a second. Here is so Tanner's trying to get a shot through the double pane glass with the light on. Tanner, you'd rather be outside but when it's raining and cold, you just got to go where they put you. So here is a original touchdown.
Tanner's hat. You can see his hat.
Yeah. And so somebody in the white gets to the right and scores. And let me tell you, I'll tell you who it is that scored.
Yeah.
That was an RS Central touchdown for Tanner. Tanner, you're doing a good job, man. That's the tough spot to be in. Like we couldn't control any of as far as where we are in quality of our shots tonight, folks. So that's Tanner.
So
of East Rutherford. So RS Central leads 7-0. So we're gonna get some of these scores out as they go. What was you gonna say, Tom?
Nothing. I was just curious. Like some of the scores though. So it's 7-0 RS Central.
Right.
And then the Shelby score we don't have yet.
We do not, as far as I know. Hey, Andre, could you pull us up the Shelby score? Listen to them, or JP, somebody in there, find us the Shelby score real quick. It's on the radio, folks. We're going to get you some live coverage in just a second and shut up ourselves, but we wanted to get you all the early scores going on right now. So RS Central is, like I said, up 7-0 versus East Rutherford. Pine Lake Prep now up big, 30-0 versus Bessemer City, and Andre and JP's going to round those up, and then I'm going to look up these other games, Tom, and see if any of them did move to Saturday.
Okay.
So for the next few minutes, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to play you some of the live coverage here of KTC broadcasting. Of our broadcast. So what we're gonna do is pull up. We'll probably go to Brent and Jeff first, and let's do that. And so I'm gonna pull them up, folks, and then you can listen to Brent and Jeff do KTC Shelby, and Tom, you can listen for yourself as well while you sit here. If you want to, you can walk up and down the hall or. Run some 40s. Well, however you.
I ran enough 40s at the soccer game last night.
Okay, so you're done with those.
I'm done with those.
Let's see. Pull up that and OHS, and we're gonna be ready to play here in just a second. I need to separate that so the folks at home can watch along. I'm about to show you folks how to find the player of where to go on KTC and how to get there. So again tonight we've got OHS, Shelby, and East Gaston. Tom, I'm guessing it's going to get out of hand shortly, so we do need to get out to that game as quick as we can. So we're going to get you guys out to Shelby. This is coverage of Shelby and East Gaston. We're going to come back in just a few minutes to give you some more scores from the studios, and then we're going to give you some coverage. How about some coverage from Waggy, RS Central, and East Gaston? It should be a good game tonight. We'll probably finish up out there. We'll be back in a few minutes. Tom and I from the studios, stay tuned. No commercials, live sports. We'll be playing your radio station here on KTC. So let me get that going for you. How about that? Let's see. And of course, they're in a commercial break as soon as I send it to you guys. So just bear with me. When I say no commercials, I mean the radio. Guys might slip them in here in a minute. So I'll just hold on for just a second. Still 7-0 RS Central. Pine Lake Prep 30-0 over Bessemer City.
Yeah, that could be a good RS Central East Rutherford.
Yeah, should be a pretty good game. Next week, tomorrow, real quick, while we're waiting them on the course. I know that you can hear that, Tom, but it's not live on there. Yeah. So tomorrow night, we'll have basketball. Shelby at North Lincoln on WLON, and then Crest at West Rowan on WHS. All right, guys, football is back on now, so let's try that again.
Return man, bounce and still bouncing inside the 5, and it's going to roll dead at the 4-yard line.
4, 14, 24, 34.
Pretty good first punt of the season.
Well, that's a 60-yard punt. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll tell you what, that was an excellent snap. Steve, could you tell who was the long snapper on that? Number 55, that's what we thought. That's Preston Hawkins. That was an excellent snap. And East Gaston really didn't even rush. They just kind of stood there. I don't know if they were thinking maybe there could be a fake punt, because when your quarterback is the kicker, that's always a possibility. But I'll tell you what, I was saying before we had to go to the break, when you're a football coach, one of the most scary plays of the year is the first punt, because you just don't know how that's going to go. But it couldn't have gone any better for the Golden Lions.
East Gaston starts at their 4, and Dunlap is back in at quarterback for this series. And on first down, he hands it off, and good hole there for, I can't tell the number. I'll have to give it to you in a second.
Well, it was a good hole, but it closed up quickly. It's a 2-yard gain. So the ball's going to be placed at the 6, second down and 8. And we do apologize, all you guys that are following us, but it's like East Gaston has almost silver numbers, and so they're really difficult to read.
And white jerseys with like a faint silver color. I'll just say it was Hill, but he only got a couple. Second and 8, another handoff to Hill, and this time he's got more run room around the right side.
Yeah, that's by far the best job of running, because he kind of waited and let his blocks get set up and made a nice cut, and that's going to take him all the way up to the 11-yard line. So that's going to be 3rd down and 3 for the Warriors.
5-yard pickup.
And this is where I'd be going on 2. I'd be doing a hard count, because Shelby really trying to set that edge, and we do have a tendency to jump offside sometimes.
3rd down and 3. Shotgun, handoff around the right side. Flag comes out.
Yeah, they stopped the play. And when they stop the play, it's generally illegal. It's generally a false start. And it is. It's a false start. And so that's going to push the Warriors back to their 6-yard line, and all that hard work where they were going to have 3rd and 3 now is going to turn into 3rd and 8.
Got to get up to the 14 from the 6. So big play here. Shelby defense can hold them here. Golden Lions should get great field position, and you got the fear of snapping the ball into the end zone on a punt.
I'll tell you, it's hard to imagine how you can false start on a first sound, because there was no hard count that time. They snapped it pretty quickly. And apparently somebody just never got lined up. That's all I can figure.
3rd and 8. Pass. Dunlap airs it out. Picked off.
And that could have been a touchdown, but he lost his footing. And who was that with the interception?
I think it was P.J. Hopper, 19. So Hopper getting his first start on the varsity and gets an interception. Nice coverage there by Hopper. And Shelby, even better than a punt, they get a turnover in the red zone.
So they're going to have it on the 12-yard line. Approximately 9 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the first half. Golden Lions 1st and 10 on the Warrior 12.
Baldry's in the block, and there goes Phillips off tackle. Another flag comes out, and this flag comes out way downfield as he's inside the 5.
Well, he threw it from way downfield, but he threw it back up near the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be another holding penalty. And that's when it kind of drives you a little bit crazy. So it is going to be another 10-yard holding penalty, and the play, again, was gaining yards before they threw the flag. So it's going to be interesting to see where they're actually going to mark it from.
The 9 to the 19. So gets credit for a 3-yard run and then a 10-yard penalty, and Phillips is going to have to knock some heads out there because he's losing all kinds of yards to these penalties.
Well, that's 3 holding penalties on the Golden Lions. And I'm not saying they're not holding. I'm just saying it.
First,
it's bothersome.
1st and 17 for Shelby. And Phillips gets the handoff. This time he's right up the gut, and he's making his own hole. Gets all the way back to about the 11.
So that's a nice 8-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, it looks like about 9, so we'll give him 8. Nice bit of running there, and he remains in at running back. 2 receivers left. They have Baldry in there as sort of an H-back, and now they toss it to Tyler Arrington on the end around, and he's at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Tyler Arrington. That's a pass.
That is a pass, an 11-yard pass.
11-yard reception and a touchdown. First touchdown pass of the year for Gabe Hewitt. First receiving touchdown for Tyler Arrington, I think, in his varsity career. And he's got 2 catches for 27 yards here in the first half. 8:30, call 8:31, because I can't see the second number. Luke Williams is the holder, and Jack Berkowitz the kicker, and I believe Preston Hawkins is the long snap. Williams gets it down. Berkowitz's kick is good. 14-0. Golden Lions on the Mr. Sparky scoreboard. Back after this.
The Dodge President's Day event is underway at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Shelby. If you ain't first, you're last. Dodge is the #1 brand for driver appeal and initial quality for mass market brands. During the Dodge President's Day event, you get $2,950 retail consumer cash plus $750 Chrysler Capital bonus cash or 0% APR for 72 months on select new 2021 Dodge Durango models when financed through Chrysler Capital. Don't miss the Dodge President's Day event at Marburger Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. 100 years of anything means a lot. And at Honda Motorcycles of Shelby, you'll find over 100 years of combined motorcycle experience.
But we will
so they
take a
must be
timeout
doing something right.
on the McDonald's scoreboard, including locations in Spindale. It's 7-0. RS leading East Rutherford. This is the Cavaliers on 107.5 FM.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling
and he's finally going to be brought down, but he's actually maybe even pushed ahead to get maybe a yard on that, close to the 39.
Yes, he was looking down the field, and he just turned up the field and got a couple yards of what he could get there.
Again, a reminder, Jaden Costin is the starting QB. He's the junior at 180, 5'9", wears number 5 for the Cavaliers. A fake that he was going to pitch the ball, then an inside handoff and running for some room to the far side of the field, across the 45, all the way to the 49-yard line goes John Henry Norris for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, that was a great play for the Hilltoppers there. It could have been even bigger, but East Rutherford came up to make the stop there after about the 10-yard gain.
That will move the chains, so that is a Jackson Heating and Air first down for RS Central.
One thing about Costin for the Hilltoppers, he took a lot of snaps. He took a lot of snaps for him, so he's a very experienced quarterback for them.
Tight formation on the offense this time. Costin decides he's going to take off running. He cuts that left corner, and he's going to take it inside the 45 up to about the 43-yard line of East Rutherford. A nice first down gain.
Yeah, he took a jab step to the right and then just took off to the left, like about 7 or 8 yards there for the Hilltoppers.
We just saw a little bit of change of personnel, and big number 78 for the Cavaliers, Sam Hopkins, comes back to get on that defensive line. He also plays as a starter on the OL as well. Up the middle run this time. He's going to take it inside. That is a short gain inside the 40, and we're going to see Ken Hines the third on that carry.
Yeah, he took a jab that was a great job by Ken Hines there, just getting what he could. He went right up the middle for looks like 4 or 5 yards. Good stop by East Rutherford defense there to eliminate him for those yardage, though.
Yes, we said a couple of the runners for this RS Central team had over 1,000 yards in 2019. Hines had around 600, I believe. To the left side and on the run is Toms again. Xavier Toms, who had the touchdown earlier tonight, takes it just inside the 40 of the Cavaliers.
Yeah, he was met a host of Cavaliers there. And again, once again, Matthew Hunt, one of the players on the stop for the East Rutherford defense.
If you're just tuning in, clock running, 6:32 to go in our first half. It's been the same score for a while now. It's RS 7, East Rutherford 0, but RS is on the move once again. Second down and 6 coming up here. And this time the formation shows triple backs behind the QB. They're going to go off to that left side again. Some running room for Mr. Norris. And John Henry Norris has given his team a Jackson Heating and Air first down to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, that was some hard running by him. He's just done a good job tonight of being able to keep moving those legs.
They've got the one wide out in Lynch to the near side of the field. Got a man in motion. QB, though, wants to keep it and run to that right side. He's got an opening inside the 15, inside the 10, inside the 5, pushed out at the 2, but guess what? We've got a flag back at the 15.
Uh-oh. That can't be good news for the Hilltoppers, I wouldn't think, on this. Let's see what they call, though.
It looks like to me there might have been a hold on the offense, but we'll let our officials tell us here. Costin took off, almost had a touchdown.
Yeah, great run to the right side. Let's see what the penalty might be, Paul.
Yep, it's a hold on the offense.
And that is a drive killer for them.
Yeah, that's a break for the Cavaliers because think about it. It would have been first and goal. That's how close line. And, they're saying there was we didn't catch the number of the player responsible, but they're saying that's why Costin had such a big hole running to that right side of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably was, Paul.
So the ball goes back now to the 23, first and 10 from there. Busting his way through some tacklers, Ken Hines the third.
Wow, that was some tough running by Ken Hines.
Yeah, I tell you what, this young man is well thought of for this program, and he's just taken the ball just inside the 15-yard line of the Cavaliers.
A second and about 3 there's what you got.
You're right. Right at it, second down 2, second down 3, very close either way. RS threatening again in this ball game, leading 7-0 at the moment. Costin fakes to his back. He's going to take off to the left side. He does a little razzle-dazzle move to get away from the defense, and he looks to be into the end zone. That is a big-time quarterback touchdown for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, that was kind of a crazy play there, Paul. It looked like kind of a busted and then he just busted out to the left-hand side there and just scored it in for the touchdown. Look, he wanted to go up the middle, but then it just kind of closed up and just went to the left-hand side and bursted down the sideline. So
sometimes the play may not go as designed, but that's a good heads-up play by Gaston to be able to do what he had to do.
It absolutely worked out for him there.
In for the extra point is Mr. Triplett. He wears number 18. There's the snap. Hold is in place. Kick is up. It's low, but it's across the crossbar, so it's good. Now, with 5:04 to go in the second quarter of play on the McDonald's scoreboard, including locations in Forest City, RS Central leading East Rutherford 14-0. We'll be back on WHEY 107.5 FM.
Have no idea what that's about.
Unless there was some extra.
Well, the only thing it could be is talking, because the guys are up on the line of scrimmage.
Let's see what the White Hats got to say. Coach Wilbank's calling some of his offensive players over to the sideline.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on East Gaston. So half the distance is going to be about a 1.5 yard penalty. So we'll call it a 1 yard penalty. So apparently, and the flag goes flying again.
Wow. So after an unsportsmanlike conduct, and they mark off a 1.5 yards, another flag comes out.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike on East Gaston again.
And that may give them a 1st and goal.
Stopping the clock, official timeout. He's going to send the guys to their sidelines. I imagine the officials are going to go over to have a conversation with the East Gaston coach. Actually, I think they're going to bring Coach Will. I think they're going to bring both coaches out to the middle field to have a little conversation about what's going on here. This is pretty unusual, Brent.
Yep, let's take a little break while they sort things out. We'll be back after this.
Plumbing problems? Well, if you're not an expert plumber, then we invite you to call the Expert Plumbers. That's Homestead Plumbing in Forest City. Just call 828-245-7302. Recommended since 1973. From faucets to sinks to toilets, from sewer and drains to well pumps, from dishwashers to disposals to bathroom remodeling, residential and commercial, new homes too. Don't let your plumbing problems drive you plumb crazy. Call Homestead Plumbing in Forest City. 828-245-7302, or visit the website at homesteadplumbing.com.
Welcome back. So after the official timeout, the officials did call both head coaches to the middle of the field, had a little conference, probably said, guys got to cool it a little bit and get your players under control. Both coaches did that, and now we've got Shelby 1st and goal at the 1 after consecutive penalties, and now another flag comes out from the White Hat. And he's calling dead ball unsportsmanlike conduct on Shelby.
I don't understand.
Now you hear the boo birds coming out. So now Shelby's 1st and goal from the 1 is 1st and goal from the 16. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
All right. 1st and goal, and they actually marked it on the 15, although that would have meant the ball was on the goal line.
We've got a timeout called by East Gaston.
So we'll take it to back after this message.
This day and time, you need to be concerned about your health, and Hopper Heating and Air in Shelby can help. Talk with them about phenomenal air-cold plasma generator technology. It cleans the air naturally and can eliminate 99% of COVID. Also virus, bacteria, mold, pollen, dust, dander, and odors, including smoke odors. And it's time for your preseason checkup. Book your service online for just $65 or mention WhatsAppShopper.com and get it for just $45. Visit the Facebook page or HopperHVAC.com. That's Hopper Heating and Air in Shelby.
Mabel, go see who is at the door.
Mabel won't have to go to the door if you have a Mr. Sparky Wi-Fi doorbell camera. Simply check your smartphone. You can speak to your visitor, record video clips, unlock the door, and even have lights turned on when the doorbell is pressed. Find out and get a free electrical safety inspection every year. For more details, call Mr. Sparky. Ask for the Wi-Fi door camera. No more malarkey. Call Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
First and goal from the 16 for Shelby after 3 straight unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And here goes Marquise Adams inside the 5, down about to the 1. So he gets all the penalty yardage back on the first carry, and it's going to be second and goal, Golden Lions. Nice run there by Adams in a big hole.
He's sending Adams off the field. Not sure.
Get the big back, but Adams is looking at his ankle. Like maybe there's something wrong with his shoe. And hard snap draws neutral zone infraction, I believe, on East Gaston.
So East Gaston's got 2 unsportsmanlike conducts and offside, and the total gain's about 3 yards.
Yep. So now it's about a foot to go. Do you give it to the big guy here? There goes Phillips. Actually, Hewitt keeps it, fakes it to the big guy, and he walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Gabe Hewitt from 1 yard out, and Shelby leads 20-0 on the Mr. Sparky scoreboard. That that was a numbers bookkeeping and income tax returns touchdown by Gabe Hewitt.
Approximately 35 seconds remaining in the first half. Golden Lions lead 20-0. Point after touchdown upcoming.
Really nice call. Although I think either way, you hand it off or do that, it's a touchdown. And ball off the left upright. First miss of the varsity career for Berkowitz. And Shelby leads 20-0 back after this.
Get on the right team, the Bradley's team. Since 1990, Bradley's has been a top supplier of custom screen printing, embroidery, team uniforms, athletic apparel, and equipment. And now Bradley's can do vehicle wraps.
You're seeing the 2 turnovers have hurt East, and that's been penalties that have hurt RS.
Absolutely. I saw that the hold that they called, and it was really an unnecessary hold there by one of our central players, and the quarterback was already through the hole before he even did the holding. So I don't know exactly what was going on there. Nevertheless, there's a whole lot of gains for the Hilltoppers right here.
I'm telling you what, that's one of those they're really marking off the yardage. So second down and very long as they're back now at their own 26-yard line. Costin with a pitch on the far side of the field and a little bit of running room, maybe a 3 to 4 yard gain, and that'll be it. And then pushed out at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, good job by a host of Cavaliers there to stop for a minimal gain there.
Xavier Toms, Ken Hines III, and Costin have been the main guys that have been running with that football for this Hilltopper offense so far in the game tonight.
Yes, and no turnovers for the Hilltoppers so far. So,
yeah, and that's one of the important things that if you're their coaching staff on the far side of the field, you got to be happy about that part of the game tonight. Of course, a reminder that it is RS leading 14-0.
And there was another penalty on the Hilltoppers. I'm not sure what they called there, but it looks like Eastwood may be declining that. I don't know what the call is going to be from the coaching staff.
Because it was such, they've got to get, by the way, all the way to the East Rutherford 48-yard line, or 47 for the first down. They're going to decline that holding penalty, another holding penalty.
Looks like a blocking a back call against the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, blocking the back is the actual call. But I think due to the amount of yardage they need, they want to go ahead and move them to third down.
Yeah, I don't blame them if I'm the East Rutherford coaching staff there.
Costin under center on 3rd and 25. There's a loose football, and who's going to get on top of it? This could be a big break for the Cavaliers, and they appear to have it. They do, around the 30-yard line of RS. East Rutherford with a big moment on defense.
Yeah, so that's exactly what they need to probably get back in this football game. Let's see what they can do on RS Central side of the field. They've not done that yet today.
It'll be 1st and 10, the best field position of the night. They'll be at the RS 30-yard line, and they've got 2 minutes and 5 seconds to work with until halftime.
Look at East Rutherford already on the ball, ready to snap it. And they have dropped the football.
Yeah, they just lose the football. They were in such a hurry to try to outduel the defense that the snapper, the center, and the quarterback were not ready. The loose football is still in the possession of the Cavaliers, but they lose 5 yards.
Yeah, it's very tough to be able to do that right there. I understand trying to get on the field, and they would have been excellent play calls. They pretty much had Central off balance there on defense. Just slipped out the guy's hand.
And again, clock's working against East Rutherford as well. 1:33, clock ticking to go in the first half. Moore on the snap. Handoff and going to that right side, trying to find some running room, and that's a good job by McCombs. He's going to be just inside or just shy of the 30-yard line.
Looks like there's another penalty flag on the field, I see.
Oh, my. Yep. We have seen a number of those here in the second quarter tonight.
Yeah. I don't think there's any in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken, but in the second quarter, in the last couple of drives, there have been a lot of penalty flags flying.
It certainly has, but a different story in the second quarter.
Let's see what the call is here.
Clock is stopped with 1:21 to go in the second quarter. A reminder on the McDonald's scoreboard, RS Central is up 14-0 over East Rutherford.
Looks like it's going to be on East Rutherford. Official still hasn't signaled what the call actually is. Here he comes. Chop block.
Oh, man, yeah.
That's a huge penalty there.
Well, and this is the thing that really messes things up for the Cavaliers. You get a loose football. You've got it at your opponent's 30-yard line. And since then, you've had a bad snap, you've had a penalty, and now it is second and forever. You're back inside the 40. The quarterback's in trouble. He's going to be sacked all the way back in the East Rutherford side of the field.
Like that was Xavier Thomas for our Central. Just came through unblocked and sacked the quarterback. But you're right, Paul. The penalties really hurt that drive for East Rutherford. And that's just a sign of a young team. I like what I see from East Rutherford offense, but the turnovers and the penalties have really hurt them tonight.
Well, we saw Alex Moore, the QB, go over and get a word from his head coach, Brent Russell, and Russell put his arm around him, and hopefully he gave him some encouraging words because that was a tough one, especially after they had field position just a few plays ago at the RS 30. Now they're back at their own 45-yard line with only 30 seconds to go until we go to halftime. And East Rutherford has decided they'll burn another timeout. 29 seconds to go until we go to halftime. RS 14 and East Rutherford 0 on the McDonald's scoreboard, including locations in Columbus. We're back in a moment on 107.5 FM.
Purchasing a tractor is a big decision. Worrying about keeping it running shouldn't be. James River delivers peace of mind with an industry-leading 10-year warranty. Available with the purchase of any new John Deere 1 through 5 Series tractor with absolutely no buy-in cost required. Visit jamesriverequipment.com/10-year warranty. Valid with purchase of new John Deere 1 through 5 Series tractor. Some restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. James River delivers affordable quality and a 10-year warranty.
3rd and 35. We're back to the action. Looking to pass for the first time tonight. Going to go deep downfield and overthrows the intended receiver. Moore was trying to connect that time.
It's like McCombs again.
Yeah, McCombs, who also, of course, has carried this ball out of the backfield a few times tonight. He was well covered, but the pass was not on the money, a little out of the reach of everyone, thank goodness. No turnover, but no completion. It'll be 4th and 35.
Here comes Queen again to punt the ball to RS Central.
Yep, you're right. Isaiah Queen, he's punted the ball several times in this first half. And again, Rashad Lynch, number 11, is waiting a possible return. He's standing at the 30-yard line. The punt, by the way, will be just inside the 35 of East Rutherford. He almost loses his try. He does. He has to fall down on top of the ball. Isaiah Queen on top of the ball. But this will give it over to RS Central at the East Rutherford 33-yard line, and they've got 20.6 seconds to work with.
I wonder if they're going to go back to that same play where the receiver kind of went down the middle of the field that they missed earlier.
That may not be a bad call because they got to make a big play happen here in order to see if they can add to their 14-0 lead just before halftime.
East Rutherford needs a big stop right here to limit this for halftime.
Yeah, that would be the big thing for the Cavaliers is to not allow this score to get any larger. Here's a pitch, and running to the outside, then back inside is John Henry Norris. Norris is going to be down around the East Rutherford 25-yard line.
Looks like Central's going to take a timeout there to stop the clock.
12.7 seconds to go. We won't go back to our studios for a break this time. We'll just hold it right here. RS Central leading 14-0. Can they make something happen in this final 12.7 seconds to try to even extend that lead?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big play for both teams. I think for momentum, East Rutherford getting a halftime here with just a down 14, that would be excellent news for them. I think they can go in halftime and regroup, come out second half and be ready for some action there.
Yeah, it's about that point where you certainly want to get a breather, as you say, regroup. Some of these guys, of course, played both ways, and they're going to be expected to bring out their best in the third and fourth quarter. The Cavaliers still very much in this game, but they've got to try to find some points into that early second half, and they've got to prevent RS right now from getting another score. So here we go out of the timeout. Second down and 2. The ball at the 25 of East, looking to pass, going to go over the middle, and it is incomplete, nearly caught by Lynch at the 5-yard line.
And there's the play we talked about earlier. They went back to it, but East Rutherford was ready for that time. They knocked it down. So good job by East Rutherford defense there to limit that for the R Central Hilltoppers.
Even though they've not been able to take advantage of like an opportunity a few moments ago, that there's been some times that this East Rutherford defense has done some big things tonight.
Absolutely. They got a lot of guys that's going both ways, a lot of young players. They're going to get better as the season progresses. Very excited to see what they can bring in the second half and throughout the year, Paul.
Gaston under his center on third down and 2. 5 seconds there, going back over the middle again, and this time it is nearly picked off by one of the Cavaliers right at the goal line, incomplete.
Yeah, very nice breakup. I couldn't see who that was on that side of the field, but very nice breakup by the Cavalier defense on that ball.
Nice job. The intended receiver that time was out of the backfield. They were trying to go to Hines, and he just couldn't bring it in that coverage, so it's going to bring up fourth down. This will probably be the last play of the half, and as a matter of fact, RS has decided that they're going to try a long field goal.
Yeah, this is a pretty long field goal in these conditions. I'm kind of surprised at this call, but let's see what happens here.
Triplett will come out to try to hit a 41-yard field goal. The ball, the snap's bad, and RS Central will just have to, the holder will have to hang on to that football as he is tackled back at the 40-yard line. So a great way for East Rutherford to wrap up this first half. They didn't allow 3 more points to be added to the score. And we go to the half on the McDonald's scoreboard with locations in Spindale. It's 14-0. RS Central leading East Rutherford. We're back with the Farm Bureau of Rutherford County halftime show right after we take this 3-minute break on WHEY 107.5 FM.
Sorry, Tom, I was going.
There's nothing worse than going to bed and finding bed bugs. What do you do?
Let me shut them up. There we go. I'll have to stop that. So, Tom, I'll tell you what. If you'll hit that Q on 6, we won't hear it. Or right above the
Q on
simple phone. Right.
This?
Simple phone. One more over.
One over?
Yeah.
Hit
right
it?
there. Yeah. There you go. That's just so we can hear that.
Okay.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the broadcast. It's halftime here on KTC. Let's bring up mine and Tom's beautiful.
WHEY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio. Helping keep families together is the mission of the Ronald McDonald House when a child within a family is fighting a serious illness. Rutherford Management McDonald's, locations in Forest City, Spindale, Columbus, and Boiling Springs, North Carolina, is a proud believer and supporter of the Ronald McDonald House. And when it comes to menu items like the Big Mac, Quarter Pounder, Egg McMuffin, and the new line of crispy chicken sandwiches, what McDonald's.
WBGY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio.
High school
Helping keep
football
families
radio
together
broadcast.
is the mission of the
And they
Ronald
hope you
McDonald
enjoy the
House.
games.
When a
And they
child
invite
within a
you to see
family
them
is
for your
fighting
next
a
vehicle.
serious illness,
They are your trusted
Rutherford
Honda
Management
dealership.
McDonald's,
Check out their
locations
great
in
deals.
Forest City,
Lease a new
Spindale, Columbus, and
2020
Boiling
Honda
Springs,
Civic
North Carolina,
EX
is
for
a proud believer
$189.17
and supporter
per month.
of
Or
the
lease a
Ronald
2021
McDonald House.
Honda
And when it
Civic
comes to
LX
menu
for
items like the Big Mac,
$193.69
Quarter
per
Pounder,
month.
Egg
Come on in for all the
McMuffin, and the
details,
new
and
line
good
of
luck
crispy
to all
chicken
of our area
sandwiches,
high school
what
teams. Forest City Honda.
WBGY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio.
High school
Helping keep
football
families
radio
together is
broadcast.
the mission of the
And they
Ronald
hope you enjoy
McDonald
the
House.
games.
When a
And they
child
invite
within a
you to see
family
them
is
for your
fighting
next
a
vehicle.
serious
They
illness,
are your trusted
Rutherford
Honda
Management
dealership.
McDonald's,
Check out their
locations
great
in
deals.
Forest City,
Lease a new
Spindale, Columbus,
2020
and Boiling
Honda
Springs,
Civic
North Carolina,
EX
is a proud believer and
$189.17 per
supporter
month.
of
Or
the
lease a
Ronald
2021
McDonald House.
Honda
And when it
Civic
comes to
LX
menu
for
items like the Big Mac,
$193.69
Quarter
per
Pounder,
month.
Egg
Come on in for all the
McMuffin, and the
details.
new
And
line
good
of
luck
crispy
to all
chicken
of our area high
sandwiches,
school
what
teams. Forest City Honda.
WBGY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio.
Helping keep families
Radio
together is the mission of the
and they
Ronald
hope you
McDonald
enjoy the
House.
games.
When a
And they
child
invite
within
you
a
to see
family
them
is
for your
fighting
next
a
vehicle.
serious
They
illness,
are your trusted
Rutherford
Honda
Management
dealership.
McDonald's,
Check out their
locations
great
in
deals.
Forest City,
Lease a
Spindale,
new
Columbus, and
2020
Boiling
Honda
Springs,
Civic
North Carolina,
EX
is a proud believer and supporter of the Ronald McDonald House. And when it comes to menu items like the Big Mac, Quarter Pounder, Egg McMuffin, and the new line of crispy chicken sandwiches,
WBGY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio.
helping keep families
Radio
together is the mission of the Ronald McDonald House. When a child within a family is fighting a serious illness, Rutherford Management McDonald's, locations in Forest City, Spindale, Columbus, and Boiling Springs, North Carolina, is a proud believer and supporter of the Ronald McDonald House. And when it comes to menu items like the Big Mac, Quarter Pounder, Egg McMuffin, and the new line of crispy chicken sandwiches,
WBGY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio.
Radio broadcast. And they hope you enjoy the games. And they invite you to see them for your next vehicle. They are your trusted Honda dealership. Check out their great deals. Lease a new 2020 Honda Civic EX for $189.17 per month. Or lease a 2021 Honda Civic
WBGY and W298CZ Forest City, Downtown Radio.
Radio
WBGY Forest City, Downtown Forest City, Downtown
But I got to. We're getting some radio feed. Sorry for the folks watching. I was getting back up on the radio feed. You were listening to us compete with Paul there for a minute. We're talking about here at Pine Lake Prep out at the field right now. This is Brian Nichols. Let's watch the highlight and then we'll get you guys some more. So this is going to be a long touchdown. 50-some yards, handoff. Nope. Fumble! Mm-hmm. And Tom, when you get beat 30-0, guess what you can't do? Fumble the ball on the option and on a handoff.
Yeah.
A handoff, Tommy. JP,
That's
you want to
tough.
go get us some food? Here you go. Come here. Tonight, if anyone asks, you are Teresa Hastings. and we need the receipt if she asks. And it's under Hastings. You know where you're going? You know where Max is at? Just go up there to the right to food line and turn to the right. It's the one in the left corner. You'll see it, big yellow lights, Max Grill. Think you can handle it, Tom? What's the timing on him coming back? Let's watch the fumble one more time for JP. All right, so.
Well, I got him leaving at 8:07. Okay.
So I thought it was weird when I saw Bessemer with the ball, and I was like, oh, this is a Pine Lake score. This can't be good. So
I just feel bad for any team with 16 players.
Right.
Then you go play a charter school who's pulling from a 60-mile radius. So it's just tough for schools like Bessemer City to continue to compete.
So that was the 52-0. So let's go over to Shelby. This is Shelby in East Gaston. This is Steve DeGree on the video tonight. Let's see how he's doing out there. So this is the first score for Shelby. That's a refresh there, folks, on my computer, not a highlight or something for you to look at. Big old spin there. It's only a 9-second replay. Let's slow it down. Must be slowing down our internet here in Casey. All right, so little handoff up the middle for the touchdown gives Shelby the early 7-0 score. That was a Omar Phillips 3-yard run.
Last I heard it was 14-0 there.
I got 20-0 here. For Shelby, last thing that I see. This is a callback. It says callback P, whatever that means. So I'm not sure. Steve must have been fired up on something. Looks like a run off the right side into the corner. Maybe got called back it was a touchdown. It got called back.
There was a lot of chippiness in this game.
Okay.
I'm not really sure where it stemmed from.
All right, here's the 14-0 touchdown. This is Tyler Arrington. This is Tom. You talking about people in a football game?
Yeah.
Did you not hear the name I just
Tyler
said?
Arrington. Yeah.
This is the basketball team's best player, folks. If you don't know, you're watching right now. They got a game tomorrow. State playoff, 3rd round.
And Jimmy Wishnet's in there. Now, I could see Jimmy being an excellent defensive football player. His build.
Now, Tyler actually signed to play at Gardner-Webb football.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell both of those are really good athletes.
I'll let you know where Jimmy went here in just a few minutes.
But they played.
Where's going?
They played last night. They're playing tomorrow. Wow.
And let's be real, against East Gaston, they're expected to win big time. So, you know what, me and Tom, we're saying, like, sometimes you got to take one with a grain of salt and take your medicine and be careful and be smart about it. And again, that state playoff game tomorrow is way more important than the playing time that those two fellas are getting tonight against East Gaston in round 1 of the playoffs. They go for state championships. It's not like he's going to make up the time in the playoffs. It's not like other schools that, hey, we're going to play our 7 and the season's over. Yeah. We're going for 10 to 12 games here, right? So, yeah, I feel on this. So this is Tyler Arrington scoring. I don't know what it was. Maybe a pass. Nope. Handoff right side, kind of end of a round, all the way to the corner for the touchdown. Tyler Arrington makes it 14-0. Shelby Golden Lions. Then we're going to go over to Hewitt with a 1-yard touchdown run. Tom, that's the new quarterback over there.
Is he related to the Dennis family?
I'm not familiar with the genealogy of Cleveland County families.
Well, there's Dr. Hewitt who has dental practice for a long time, and I know he had 3 or 4 sons. So
Dennis told me a long story last night, so there is a chance. So Hewitt did a fake left on the run, went off the right tackle. We'll replay it again. So follow the quarterback, folks. He goes off the right tackle on the fake as the focus, handoff right side there with the towel into the end zone. Makes it 20-0. Shelbytown Golden Lions up on East Gaston. Let's see if I got any more. Now, this one isn't labeled, so this could be anything. This could be a streaker, Tom. Now that would now be a better or worse time as far as security-wise to be a streaker at a high school game?
I guess you'd get more video coverage.
I was about to say, it's guaranteed you're going to be live streamed somewhere because everyone's doing it.
Yeah, everybody's live streaming.
I think this might have been the same play. It kind of looks like the same setup. Yeah, same play. So they just tweeted that play out twice. Folks, you want to know where the tweets coming from? At What's Up Shopper. This is a What's Up Shopper scoreboard show. We've got folks out at some of the games tweeting. We're supposed to have another game. Mountain Island Charter at East Lincoln tonight. It got rained out and pushed tomorrow. We're probably not going to have any coverage of that. Kings Mountains got moved to Saturday. So, folks, our Saturday coverage, based on everything this week, we had Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, football, basketball, and football. And so it's been hard to get everybody organized and get announcers together for this.
Hey, Kevin, real quick, what was that Bessemer City score?
The last one, Tom, is 52-8. Bessemer closes the lead to 44.
Okay.
Cut the lead to 44. That's going to be one of those ones where they win the fourth quarter.
Do we have anything else besides Shelby 20-0?
Bunch of haters. Go ahead.
Bessemer City 52-8. RS over East 14-0. Any other scores?
Last one I had was 14-0 Huss. Let me refresh it. I'm sure it might have gotten worse. It has.
And who are they playing?
14-0 Huss over North Gaston right now. We'll see if West Iredale, if Max Preps is reporting anything on that. No. West Caldwell and East Burke's supposed to be playing tonight. Still nothing on it. So, folks, some of these games may have been pushed tomorrow, and we'll let you know as much as we can here in a little bit. Here's the Bessemer. How about a Bessemer City touchdown, Tom? Got one. We got to celebrate it. How about that? Here we go.
Maybe they just let them score.
Well, it looks like it. Off the left side, he goes untouched, and Bessemer celebrates some of them like they just won the lottery, down 52-8. But I'll tell you, being on that,
they got the 2-point conversion too.
I'll tell you, on being on those end of those blowouts, those touchdowns do feel like you won the lottery. Yeah, I mean, it's not fun. So if I'm poking fun at that, it's because experience. All right, so Tom, what I want to do now is take you down to some, since you weren't here yesterday. Let's go through some of last night's highlights. I'm not going to go through all of them since we really did these last night, but I did want to show some of the folks. You wanted to see some of the Chase stuff, maybe some of the Ironman, and talk about some of that, and of course the Burns. Have you went through and looked through the Burns yet today, Tom?
I have not.
Okay, so we'll just go through them here. I guess I could skip over the Crest ones for you, except maybe a couple since you were there. So here's your Erie site. How about South Point Homeside?
Wow.
Nobody out there.
Well, the governor has changed the restrictions, right? You can go 30% capacity.
Why do I got double silence in there? You cover this for a sec, Tom.
Okay. As Kevin Hastings steps away, I'll go ahead and give you a few scores from around the area of some of the games we're covering. On the radio, we have it on WAGY, East Rutherford and RS Central. RS Central up 14-0. Hunter Huss and North Gaston, that one also 14-0. Hunter Huss is ahead. Shelby 20-0 over East Gaston. Pine Lake Prep 52-8 over Bessemer City. So those are some of the scores that we had from today. From last night, it was Chase 56, Cherryville 9, Crest 38, Forest View 13, North Lincoln 10, West Lincoln 6, Burns over South Point 28-27, Berry Academy defeats Ashbrook 31-13, Maiden defeats Bandy's 21-7, Legaton over Newton Conover 27-13, Thomas Jefferson over the Community School of Davidson 25-9. Ford over Patton last night 28-6. High Brighton 50-13 over Bunker Hill. And in a baseball score, South Iredale defeats Alexander Central 7-2. That's not a mistake. That was the actual score of the ball game. Some other scores we're waiting on. We don't have anything from McDowell Hickory. Do not have anything from Freedom St. Stephen's or West Iredale Drone, West Caldwell, East Burke. I have been told that Mountain Island Charter and East Lincoln has been postponed until Saturday because of the weather. So those are some of the scores from around the area. And Kevin's in there on the board trying to get things straightened out. On this channel, we're going to have some highlights. If you were not able to join us last night, we will have highlights of the Burns South Point 28-27, a thrilling back-and-forth game. At Burns had a goal line stand and stopped South Point on a 2-point conversion late in that ball game to preserve that victory. So Coach Devine and his bunch get a very, very big conference victory to open the season 28-27. Interesting side note to this story, the Burns kickers were involved in a soccer game that was being played at the same time the football game was being played. As a result, the Burns the Burns football team had to start without their kickers, went for 2 on their first 3 touchdowns, did not convert any of the 2-point conversions. Later in the game, as the soccer game ended, the kickers were able to join the football team, and Burns was successfully got a field goal and an extra point late in that game to make it 28. So it could have been 31 Burns points instead of 28, but not having those kickers because of the scheduling where you have soccer and football on the same day, which you usually don't have. Under more normal times, you would never have a soccer game on a Friday night when football's on, but because of that situation, it nearly cost Burns the ball game. So I'm not sure if you knew that, Kevin. That's why that Burns had a soccer game with South Point at the same time the football game was going on, and as a result, Burns didn't have kickers for the first 2 quarters of the game. Every touchdown they got, they went for 2, didn't get it. The soccer game ends. Chris White runs the boys on over there from Burns to South Point. So they
You weren't here for me and JP talking soccer earlier, so I was being disrespectful.
Soccer?
Yeah.
Disrespectful how to soccer?
Just, as far as what you're talking about.
Well,
I don't want to say any more without making someone mad.
Well, I would say that usually you don't create that situation. You don't want to put the young man in that situation. I can remember when.
Well, I was going to say, Tom, there's hundreds of soccer fields or flat fields that you could put up 2 goals and play a soccer game at.
Yeah.
Especially in the time of COVID when you don't need fans or anything else. You just take everybody out to the, I drive by there over at Keys Mountain. There's one complex got like 10 fields over, 8 fields over there. You can play a game at a place like that.
So I mean, I
want to say is that y'all could play that game at South Point Middle School instead of having the Burns.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. Do they play on a soccer field? I don't even know. I was thinking, wow, you're talking about they were playing at the same time. Where were they playing at? Did they have a soccer field? I think
South Point was at Burns.
Oh wow! So they had to drive down there. Sorry,
and
I missed that part. I was thinking they were at South Point. South Point had a separate soccer field. I'm like,
and what else you got going on is you've got referees coming from a middle school game that might have went into overtime, so that delays the varsity game. So I'm just telling you, man, it's this soccer doesn't seem to have enough officials. They never seem to have enough officials. So what they have, especially when the weather gets messed up, like usually soccer, Monday, Wednesday is primarily days for varsity. Tuesday, Thursday's middle school. If you don't get any weather issues, then you're fine. If it rains on a Monday and you move all the varsity soccer to Tuesday, now you're going to run out of officials because you got the middle school and the high school at the same time. No. There was so much rain that some of these teams have been moving their soccer games to Friday and Saturday. Well, now it's conflicting with football. So you've got, on last night, it was the soccer game was probably on Thursday, then you move the football game back. Now you have a conflict. Mm-hmm. So you're having more of these conflicts in combination with the COVID and the weather, and you have a situation, you're playing a game, literally. Coach Devine and company are playing a game that's probably going to determine whether they get into playoffs. If we assume things are going to play out, if you assume that Shelby is the favorite in that conference just because they're the Shelby Golden Lions, even though they've got a lot to replace, as Jeff and Brent were talking about earlier, that, if you lose the South Point game, you stand a very good chance of not making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and you're going to rest that on a kicker playing a soccer game? And
maybe that's why Shelby's got Jimmy Whiston and Tyler Arrington. They're scared they're going to miss the playoffs if they against these Gaston this week.
I don't know.
It's 26-0 East Shelby over East Gaston. How about we show you the last score update out there? I got a final at Bessemer City in a minute too. Nobody wants that, but we'll get.
Yeah, nobody cares about that yet.
Haters gonna hate. We were outgunned tonight. Then this year, Tom, the whole year, it's gonna be outgunned. All right, here's the highlight for Shelby. Just went up 20-0. I'll give you the name of who scored in just a second. Little quick pass out. That might have even been a lateral, depending on how the referee, but I'm sure they ruled it a pass. And the wide receiver scoots on into the corner of the end zone after breaking a tackle. Steve didn't post the name on that touchdown, folks, so I ain't got that one for you. Got a final, folks. Final at Pine Lake Prep, 52-8. The Pride squeaked by the Yellow Jackets tonight, Tom.
Well, squeaked by their 16 players. It's just a sad situation for Bessemer City
Pine
football.
Lake's got like 48 players. Like they've got a squad so it's not a. And we talked like last night a little bit with Dennis about that, and that's the first time he'd heard me break down the roster size theory that I have as far as doing the conferences that way. So. All right, let's get you back to some more football. They're getting going in Shelby. We're going to eat some food and round up some scores for you guys here on KTC. I'm going to pull up the broadcast, maybe, and just let you guys listen. Oh, I'm down here. I got everything labeled weird.
Second half, yes, RS Central right off the bat has driven a few plays and into the end zone on the Ken Hines III 1 or 2 touchdown run. The extra point, no good this time. And now RS Central on the McDonald's scoreboard has gone up 20-0. So,
sure, let's recap kind of what happened there. Big run back by RS Central on the opening kickoff. Then it was followed by a face mask penalty by East Rutherford. That gave him 15 more yards, a short run, and then Ken Hines Jr. punched it in for the RS Central Hilltoppers.
JB on top of things as we get back into position, and we will be with you right here on Mike for the rest of the broadcast. We apologize for getting in just a moment late of the second half, but this was a big moment. We knew RS Central was going to get the second half kickoff, and they were able to take possession of the opportunity, and they now have this 20-0 lead. They'll kick to the Hilltoppers. The ball's taken at the 18-yard line, met at the 25, and no further that time for T.J. Watkins as he goes down about the 22-yard line. So special teams coming through on that for RS Central as well.
Yes, and Ken Hines is having himself a heck of a week. He was the leading scorer, I think, in the basketball game last night, and he's already punched it in for the Hilltoppers tonight.
That's what you call an athlete, when you can do it in several sports.
Right.
And RS Central had a tremendous basketball season, by the way. It did come to an end last night, but they've got nothing to be ashamed of.
Absolutely not. I think they lost 2 games, both of the games at Shelby, and they beat Shelby 1 time this year. So 1 win and 2 losses for RS Central against the Golden Lions this year.
They go to Jameer Gibbs, the big fullback. He's met immediately in the backfield, so that's a loss there. So East Rutherford and this wing T offense is having a tough go of it, especially to begin this second half. At least it looks like RS Central is cracking down on the running game even more, and they are meeting them either at the line of scrimmage or they're back there before the running backs even have an opportunity to gain yards.
Yeah, their defensive line is doing an outstanding job being able to penetrate and get their linebackers free in the holes to tackle the East Rutherford ball carriers, Paul.
Under center, that steps back into the shotgun. Quarterback keeper this time to the far side of the field, trying to cut the corner, driven out of bounds, and maybe a couple of yards on the gain by Alex Moore.
Yeah, some tough yards there for Alex Moore. Very tough yards. I mean, even though he got 2 yards, lucky run about 14 there, Paul.
Yeah, a lot of work, as you said, making his way from the pocket out to the far side of the field, and they need a big play on 3rd down and 11. We're in the third quarter, clock ticking, 8:50 to go. It's been all RS Central to this point, now with a 20-0 lead. Moore takes the snap from the pocket, looking. Now he's going to roll out. He wants to run, but he'll be chased down from behind, breaks that tackle. Still not going to get enough for the first time, but a gutsy effort to get to the 27-yard line by the QB.
Yeah, RS Central thought they had the ball there, but the official ruled him down, so it will be 4th down for the Cavaliers. It looks like about their own, what is that, Paul, the 27-yard line?
27-yard line is correct. And a guy that we talked about during our halftime show that had to do a lot of work is going to be coming out again. That's the punter, Isaiah Queen.
It's like number 11 there back to receive the kick for the Hilltoppers. And I just got a text that said that Rashawn Lynch, he is signed to Lenore Ryan for track, and he was second in the state in the long jump last year. So number 11 there for Central taking the
high snap on the punt, and they brought in a different punter, by the way. This didn't go well. The ball's going to hit down at the East Rutherford 32. Fortunately, it will roll to the 40-yard line. But just like that, RS Central will have great field position already on the opposition, the East Rutherford side of the 50 at their 40-yard line.
And that was an outstanding catch by the punter there for East Rutherford. Almost a one-handed grab out there. It looks like Braden Gilling for East Rutherford there. But that was an outstanding job to be able to punt the ball actually and get the yards he got there.
Yeah, we talked about Isaiah Queen, but now they had made a change for whatever reason. And, of course, you know, as we said, this is one thing East Rutherford's had to face so far tonight, a lot of punts. They were fortunate that that ball didn't go off the fingertips of the punter and into the end zone. Here is a pitch play running to the outside, breaking through some tackles to the 30, to the 25, 15, 10, 5, all the way in for a touchdown. And that is a huge one by Tyler Logan, number 7.
Yeah, we hadn't called his name much this year, but wow.
I'm telling you right now, he's got some speed, and he was fortunate. He broke through some initial tackles near the line of scrimmage and went all the way for a 40-yard touchdown run, and RS Central's really pouring on that lead now. It is 26-0, and here comes Triplett out for the PAT. Snap, hold, foot into ball, kick is up through the uprights, right through the middle, right through there, and now with 7:21 to go, we see RS Central up 27-0.
Yeah, that was an outstanding kick there by Triplett. The snap was really good.
We'll step away for a quick 30-second timeout on the McDonald's scoreboard. RS Central 27, East Rutherford 0. You're listening to the Cavaliers on WAGY 107.5 FM.
Attention contractors. H&M Industries in Shelby sells wholesale. You get wholesale pricing, like vinyl windows as low as $149 with a lifetime warranty on frames and sash, plus low E argon. Extra strength glass as low as $149, plus metal roofing, just 82 cents a square foot with a 40-year warranty. And get vinyl siding at wholesale prices too. That's H&M Industries, 3931 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Call 704-734-9900 or visit the website at hmindustries.com.
Triplett's kick is into the hands of T.J. Watkins. He takes it from the 18 just across the 25, no further than the 27-yard line, and that's where we'll see the Cavaliers go back on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what the Cavalier offense can do this time, Paul. You can just see the speed that T.J. Watkins has there.
He has been one of the players talked about as much as anybody in my conversations leading up to this game with Coach Brent Russell. Remember, Brent Russell's been here for you folks with East Rutherford for many years. One time the offensive coordinator, one time the defensive coordinator. Now his first year as head coach. Here we go to work, and some running room, breaking through a tackle, trucking through the 35, almost across the 40, pushed all the way out to about the 43-yard line. McCombs, the sophomore, with his biggest run of the night.
Yeah, that was an absolutely great run by McCombs on the right hand.
That is certainly what they needed. That is a Jackson's Heating and Air first down for the Cavaliers.
Absolutely. We'll get a first down there and get some momentum. And they're already under center again. This is great. I love the pace that their offense is actually going under.
And you know as time goes on, this is going to have an opportunity to get a lot better.
Absolutely. They'll clean up some of these mistakes tonight.
Here's a handoff again, right in the middle of the field, behind the offensive line, and some good running room for the young man, McCombs, again, who takes it to the 45. It'll be 2nd down and 5 coming up. We're seeing a spark, and this is needed. There's still plenty of time to go. Clock ticking, 6:35 in the third quarter. But the way that you can put some pressure on is that you immediately get down the field and get on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they look much crisper in their drives here in the second half.
Moore hands off to the big fullback, and he's hit pretty quickly. No gain as we talk about Gibbs, number 24, the senior. So 3rd down and 5's coming up. 3rd down conversions are so important, JB, and East Rutherford needs one.
Yeah, they absolutely do want to get back on the scoreboard, get some confidence to offensive players. If they could just get a couple first downs here and maybe put some points on the board, I see them doing great things here in the second half, Paul.
They've got one receiver to the near side of the field.
That's Mr. Mays. He's had a big game so far.
Yep. They got the 3 running backs back in the backfield. A little razzle-dazzle here. One handoff, and then they switch to another running back, but the defense was ready for it, and down back at the 40-yard line is T.J. Watkins.
Yeah, it looks like it was John Henry Norris there on the stop for the Hilltoppers, but without him making that stop, that whole side of the field was open there, so it could have been a big game, and Jabbar Mays had a great downfield block, so good job by John Henry Norris to make that stop for the Hilltoppers right there.
Yeah, Moore hands off at the beginning of that play to McCombs. McCombs gives it to his comrade in the backfield, Watkins, but it just didn't work out. Good defense by RS, and that will force the punting unit to come out. We've got a RS Central timeout before the punt. We'll take it as well. 5 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the third quarter. RS Central leads East Rutherford 27-0 on the McDonald's scoreboard. You're listening to the Cavaliers on 107.5 FM.
At Coyote, we're going to treat you like dirt because we hold dirt in the highest regard. We're honored to find it.
But unfortunately for East Gaston, they're going to lose another yard, so it's going to be 4th down and 18. And Luis Nunez, who does not look terribly happy, he's had every punt has gotten a little bit shorter, 38, then 23, and now 17. He's really been under some pressure. And, of course, the first time he tried to punt, he got roughed.
McKinney's in at the up back. There's nobody back for Shelby. And he muffs the punt.
Yeah,
it went off the bottom of his shoe and rolled about 20 feet.
So it's going to be a 3-yard punt. Yeah, he really did. He literally hit it with the very bottom of his foot. Whew, it's a rough night.
Yep. So Shelby takes over at their 39-yard line. They lead 33-0 on the Mr. Sparky scoreboard, and our scoreboard's we're having some trouble with some numbers. It almost looks like it's 23, but it is
33. There's 2:27 left here in the third quarter. Shelby.
Hewitt's going to roll right on first down. He's going to throw on the run. Nearly picked off. His intended receiver fell.
Yep. That's one of those that he has to throw it pretty much as soon as the receiver's making his cut. And the receiver just fell down. And we were kind of fortunate that when he fell down, the defensive player in coverage wasn't able to catch that ball, because And that's one of those, if you throw an interception, it's not your fault because you threw it to a spot and the receiver fell down. 2nd and 10.
Isaiah Bridges was the intended receiver. And now it's going to be a handoff to Adams in a big hole across the 50, inside the 40, and forced out of bounds by Trevor Williams, but not until he's got a huge gain and an SNR Auto Sales first down.
Yes, that is the 4th SNR Auto Sales first down of the second half by the Golden Lions. And they are once again in East Gaston territory. We're down to about 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Shelby leads 33-0, and they have the ball 1st and 10 at the East Gaston 34. East Gaston has a lot of players going both ways, and they look really tired right now. Shelby, in what they call the hug formation, they've got a blocking back that's got between the guard and the tackle, and generally this is a power play coming up.
Hewitt fakes the handoff, throws it complete. Jakari Shell inside the 20, first down.
Now, as I said, generally that's a power play, and it's a great play-action fake, and he found Shell open and made a perfect throw and a good run after the catch for yet another SNR Auto Sales first down. The Golden Lions now have it on the 17 of the East Gaston Warriors. 1:47 remaining in the third quarter. Shelby leads 33-0.
I got to get the yardage after this play because I got to do some math. And there goes Adams. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown. Marquise Adams from 17 yards out. And Adams is having a heck of a second half. His second touchdown run, he's carried it 3 times, 26 yards and a touchdown, 27 yards, and 17 yards and a touchdown. Not bad.
Bergwitt's in to attempt the point after touchdown. The last two times, Shelby's had a little bit of penetration up the gut. Always nice to have something to work on after that first game. This time, they don't even rush, and the kick is up and good.
Shelby leads 40-0 on the Mr. Sparky scoreboard back in 30 seconds.
S&M Sports Shop is your dealer for Under Armour sports apparel in Cleveland County. Come by and see the selection of Under Armour shirts, shorts, shoes, socks, and sunglasses. S&M is also your team outfitter for all local schools in whatever sport you play. They have leather jackets for all local high schools. Plus, S&M is your headquarters for Oakley Sunglasses. For all your athletic needs, go to S&M Sports Shop. They're located at 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby.
James River delivers end-of-season closeouts with 100% affordability and 0% financing. Right now at James River Equipment, get 0% financing for 60 months on John Deere 1 through 4 Series compact tractors, 0% on commercial mowers, 0% on Gator utility vehicles, and 0% on zero-turn mowers. Visit jamesriverequipment.com/closeout. James River delivers.
Located on Highway 180 North in Shelby.
Touchdown sponsored by Numbers Bookkeeping and Income Tax Services, and it was a 17-yard touchdown run by Marquise Adams. Big second half for Marquise, and Phillips already over 100 at the other running back spot, and now Adams closing in on that as well. Kickoff taken by Stovall this time, and he's got a seam up that same right side, and he's across midfield, so might need to shore up that left side of the kickoff coverage team.
Yeah, and again, I told you that, the most nervous you'll ever be is the first time you punt. And, of course, the same kind of thing on kickoffs and punt coverage as well. It's about darn impossible to practice at full speed, and you can really get some big plays. And when Shelby runs up against a team that has a little more speed and a little more talent, that could really be a problem. So the great thing is you get this on film. Shelby's got to take a timeout. They were having trouble getting the defenders on the field.
Timeout taken, and we'll take it too. Shelby 40, East Gaston 0.
If you're not bundling your insurance with Allstate, you might have fear of missing out, or FOMO.
You're too old to say FOMO.
But people who don't bundle their auto and home with Allstate...
No, FOMO's about fun stuff, not insurance.
But what if people use the money they save to pay for that fun stuff?
Okay, fine.
Your local Allstate agent is Damon Scott. Give him a call at 704-484-3463.
Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Shelby forced to take a timeout there. Malachi Hamrick comes over and goes under the tent to take a seat and see who's in for Shelby on defense. You got 32, which is Will Sadler, 45, Sam Baldry, 52, which is Justin Lipscomb, 53, and Hill on the carry.
And he runs hard, and he's going to pick up a yard.
Sadler, number 20, Justin Mickles, in on the tackle. Jalen Petty's out there. Is that number 10? TJ Griffin?
61.
Got 61, Jamari Houston. So a lot of guys getting some playing time. They give Hill a yard.
Inside of a minute left here in the third quarter. Again, Shelby leads 40-0.
Shotgun. Dunlap to Stovall this time around the right side. Ooh, he's hit rudely by Sam Baldry.
That was a heck of a hit by Baldry, and it looked like there was a hole, and it looked like there was going to be about a 5-yard gain. And Baldry, I don't know where he was hiding, but he introduced himself, as you said, rudely. That was a perfect form tackle. That was shoulder pad to the midsection, and the first thing that hit the ground was the back of the running back, because that was a great tackle. So it's going to be 3rd and 10, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter.
After 3, Shelby 40, East Gaston nothing. Back after this 1-minute break.
Have you got a ping, pang, ding going on with your car or truck? Then take it to A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. A-Plus Automotive does all types of automotive repairs, from tune-ups to oil changes and complete diagnostic work. And they are a North Carolina inspection station with over 30 years of experience. See A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. They also do AC and heater repair. Get her running today with a stop at A-Plus Automotive, 1900 Elizabeth Avenue in Shelby. See Charlie Heston today or call 704-482-0441 for A-Plus Automotive in Shelby. Full Throttle Power Sports in Gastonia has just gotten a whole lot bigger, and we mean a whole lot bigger. They have just purchased MS Power Sports in Gastonia and are now your dealer for Honda, Suzuki, and Kawasaki, along with CF Moto, Yamaha, and Polaris. Golf carts, too. One big dealer under one big roof, plus a complete parts and service department. That's Full Throttle Power Sports, 101 Indian Walk of I-85 in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com.
Start of the fourth quarter, Shelby 40, East Gaston nothing on the Mr. Sparky scoreboard. We got to once again thank West End Sales for sponsoring our broadcast here tonight on WHS. A lot of new faces in the ball game for Shelby. The DBs are 16 Isaiah Bridges, looks like 19 PJ Hopper, 24 Jalen Petty, 3 Marquise Adams at linebacker. You got 36 Hunter Lee. You've got 10 TJ Griffin. And we'll get some more numbers for you in a second. 28 Cam Anderson. And at linebacker. 3rd down and 5. There was a penalty on Shelby there.
I think we lined up off sides.
So Dunlap throws it complete in the flat. Nowhere to go. Is that Griffin on the tackle, I believe?
I think so. It's going to be a 2-yard loss. That was a bad decision by the receiver, because there was a possibility of gaining some yardage if he had gone outside, but he went inside and he was met immediately. Again, don't know that it would have mattered. We're so much faster than they are that had he gone outside, we may have tackled him, but it would have been a tackle for a 1-yard gain instead of a 2-yard loss. So it's 4th down and 7, and you got to figure they'll go for it on this. The ball is on the Shelby 42. Again, Shelby leads 40-0 Got 11 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, and they are going for it.
4th and 7. That was Caleb Burr on the catch. Dunlap's going to throw. This time he's got time. He's rolling right. Now he's got a guy in his face, and he completes it for the first down, and that's McKinney on the catch.
That was a nice throw and nice catch. And again, that's the first down of the second half. Nice pass, nice catch. So first down for East Gaston, and that is again their third first down of the game. And those first downs are sponsored by S&R Auto Sales. So East Gaston has the ball on the Shelby 31. This would be the second time that they've gotten the ball this deep in Shelby territory. The first time was the very beginning of the ball game when they had a nice return and then a roughing the punter penalty gave them the ball inside the 30.
16-yard pass play.
This is the sweep and a little bit of yardage. And
Hill breaks a tackle, and he's at the 10 and inside the 10 to about the 7. Nice run.
Yeah, we've been impressed with how hard Hill runs, and that was one of the first times that there's literally been a hole to run through. And once he got through that hole, then he got out of about 3 tackles and got all the way down to the 7-yard line. So once again, another first down sponsored by S&R Auto Sales. And now East Gaston looking to score here on the Shelby 7. First and goal. We're almost 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
24-yard run, by far the best. And now Hill breaks it to the outside 5. Touchdown from 7 yards out, and East Gaston is finally on the scoreboard.
That is Justin Hill.
And Hill has toted it now a total of 10 times on the night. And finally into the end zone from 7. So just over 10 minutes to go here in the fourth. And let's see if East Gaston goes for 2 here.
They do have a kicker. I saw them kick in their scrimmage game, but I believe they're going to go for 2, and why not? It's 40-6. I would imagine they're going to get the ball to Hill one more time.
Dunlap into Hill, and he's still on his feet, but he's going to be tackled at about the 2. So 2-point conversion fails, and Shelby leads by a score of 40-6, and we'll be back after this for another Jam & J's Pizza Factory kickoff.
Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby has just received a big new shipment of scratch and dent refrigerators. Yes, these hard-to-find refrigerators are now in stock in Shelby at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, and a great selection to choose from. Some with French doors, side-by-sides, and top-mounted Samsung refrigerators. See them today at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at hendrickappliance.com, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. The fire that you desire is found at Future Energy Company on West Graham Street in Shelby. For 38 years, Future Energy Company in Shelby has been keeping Cleveland County warm and cozy with gas logs and fireplace inserts, plus keeping you fed with a Big Green Egg and Green Mountain pellet grills. And they carry the Yeti coolers too. So for the fire that you desire, see Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street in Uptown Shelby, or online.
All right, folks, welcome back to the broadcast. Kevin Hastings and Tom Cinephone here. Tom, hit the Q there on the simple phone. We'll shut Brent up.
Q, this one?
Over the simple phone. Follow the simple phone. There you go. Shut Brent up. We can hear him. Y'all have heard enough of him. Brent Pasco. No, you've done a great job, Brent, as always. He will do another great job tomorrow in basketball. Tom and I are going to start doing some wrap-up on some of the week. We're going to get all the scores, obviously, that we can before tonight's over. But, folks, there's still games tomorrow night. We're not going to have any coverage tomorrow night of high school football. No pregame, no scoreboard, no postgame, no nothing. These teams playing on Saturday. We've got high school basketball tomorrow. We've got Shelby, and I can pull that artwork up too, Tom. Be all kinds of fancy with that. We've got Shelby at North Lincoln tomorrow. The easiest thing will be hit the buttons over here. How about that? Shelby at North Lincoln tomorrow. Hunter Yancey and Tim Johnson will have that call. So here's that beautiful artwork that I work so hard for. I say that as an inside joke in the office and everything. Because today we got ready. We had the rain this week, Tom, and then so Mountain Island Charter and East Lincoln kept their game on Friday. So I had to plan to get paid in his stuff, what we're going to do, are we going to get tents, where we're going to be. So today I spent an hour getting a tent together, broadcast stuff together, put everything together. I've got the truck parked up out front, warmed up for Tim to pull in, and it wasn't. He texted me, I don't know the exact time, let's say 1:55. As soon as I hung up the phone and walked down the hall, Dad got a text from the athletic director and said game was over. Game had been moved. I had just probably 5 minutes before that tweeted out the links and all the artwork for it. So I looked at Andre and I was like, this just goes to show you should always wait till the last minute to do anything.
Yeah. Procrastination can be rewarded.
In the broadcast business, you can either be rewarded for procrastination and not rewarded for getting everything done early, or the complete opposite.
Yes.
If you're not ready, it's a total disaster.
Yes, it can be a disaster if you're not prepared.
Well, I talked to Trent last night before the game, and he's, just thinking about him, he's like, well, I've got to take like a couple hundred extra feet of drop cord just because I don't know.
I know
where everything is and where we're going to be and where our plug-ins are going to be and what. So you just don't know when you get out to the
I've
games.
actually got a pretty high-powered box. Remember, I used it when we were at the golf course over at Woodbridge, which can power the computer and the internet.
Yeah, I need to invest in that.
And by the way, you probably need to send another internet tower with Brent if you're going to send him up there to Rowan County.
He's got one now. I gave him one today.
Did you get one? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave him one today. I had to meet him over. He had to get new commercials, Tom, because we change those every day.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I didn't.
out.
Obviously, I didn't do the artwork right because that says Dudley Panthers and that's Westro End Falcons on my art. So at least I caught something sitting here. So I'll go down the hallway. I'm sure somebody's gave me a smart ass comment at some point about it. But yeah, it's Westro End Falcons, not Dudley Panthers. They beat the Dudley Panthers. So I got the artwork right on that. Jeez. But Shelby Golden Lions is going to be at North Lincoln on WLON. Shelby fans, you have to listen online. You're not going to be able to pick it up on the actual radio in Cleveland County. So pick it up online. Follow the streams. Follow the links. There's a link there at the bottom. For maybe y'all can see my mouse. Look right here. There's the link. And when you click on this link, it'll bring up the player. And then what you do is you hit play. Tom, think you can handle that?
Yeah. Is it, it's not going to be on WHS then?
No. Crest is on WHS.
Okay.
Shelby's on WLON. So Crest can listen on the radio and online. Shelby fans, you're going to have to listen to online.
Because it'll be out of the signal zone in the city of Shelby.
You cannot pick it up on the radio out in that signal. If you turn on 107.5 in Shelby, you're going to listen to Waggy.
Oh, okay.
So Cherville's pretty much the line of
WLON.
this 107.5 crossing over to each other.
Okay.
And so last year, for example, on Friday nights, going to the football game and stuff, when I was coming back, so I'd check in on my family, tell the kids good night, and then come back. If I went to the left, I could just turn on 107.5. I want to go to the left, I can listen to Waggy. If I go right to the office, because it's the same distance either way. If I go right, I'm listening to Lincoln game. So honestly, depending on who was playing last year on those stations is how I would decide which way to go to the station so I could listen to a better game instead of, it's 74-0 right now in the games we got going on right now, Tom. So
that's it? Just 2 games?
Hey, East Gaston got 6. I mean, there's more games across the board, but these are the only games that we got on our broadcast tonight.
I didn't know if McDowell and Hickory played or...
Well, I'm trying to get to those. Let's check on some of these other ones real quick. How about Hunter Huss and North Gaston? We'll refresh our page. It's 23-0. Hunter Huss over the North Gaston Wildcats.
That's not surprising.
Right. West Iredale and Drawn. See if they got anything across on that yet. No. See, some of these I'm going to have to check on the Magic Twitter, too. All right, let's watch some highlights real quick, folks. East Rutherford and our Central's put some points on lately. Let's get to them. Tanner Halbert up there doing a great job for us. Doesn't have that great a view tonight. All the windows are closed. Tanner's doing the best he can. He's sitting right beside the broadcast. I guess that's Paul. Right next to him. And it looks like a handoff up the middle for a touchdown for East Rutherford there. I mean, RS Central, right, is leading. RS Central takes a 20-0 lead on that one.
I was seeing if McDowell had tweeted anything out, but I don't see.
RS Central takes a 27-0 lead.
Yeah, they're up 27-0.
Who is? RS still?
RS Central,
okay,
yeah.
So that was the final score on that one? Or not? It's not a final. It was the last score we got.
Yeah.
So this is a long play, it looks like. We're going to have a big play. Tanner dancing in the background there, doing a good job. He's been taught by Tim and Paul Foster in college,
Wow.
he said. So
he's had all the Fosters.
Extra special. So big long run there from RS, about 45 yards up at East. Up, it's 34-0. Tom.
34-0 RS Central?
Yep.
Well, I am trying to find something. Let me go to my tweeter and see if I can find something on that. Should be some more scores. I'm sure some of these other schools might have canceled.
Yeah, that's why we may not know. There's a Shelby 40-0 lead. Nice little run and handoff. Now, Tom, I was told basically in what Shannon was saying before the game, and listening to Jeff too, is that they're pretty good at running back and pretty good at defense. So it's going to be one of those classical 80s, 90s Shelby offense maybe, as opposed to the air it out. But we'll see. When you got to put a bunch of athletes, it might turn into airing it out. But they're supposed to have a really good running game. So here's East Gaston's score.
See, I'm at the McDowell football tweeter page, and there's nothing there. The last tweet was okay. This is why the last tweet
2012
was 05 March.
Yeah, that's not it.
14. March 14th, 2014 was the last time anybody tweeted from this page.
All right, so this is Hill for East Gaston with a 7-yard touchdown run. Hill scores on the Shelby Golden Lions, and people might not say that's important. He'll always remember that score no matter what. Tom.
Oh, that's right.
Especially sitting around with his boys. Because I threw a pass on Shelby and I caught one too, and you let your friends know, like, well, you didn't catch a touchdown against Shelby, or you didn't throw one against Shelby, so
yeah.
There was like, boys, y'all see that scoreboard? It says 34-6. Y'all read that wrong. It says 34 to Kevin.
34 to Kevin. 34 to Kevin. I like it.
All right. Shelby now up 40-6 on East Rutherford to get those scores going throughout. It's so Shelby and not Shelby on East Rutherford, East Gaston. East Rutherford's losing 34-0. So Tom, if you're from the East,
it's
a good thing the Mustangs didn't play tonight. We could have had 3 East teams. And Shannon picked against the Mustangs. He picked Mount Nine Charter to win.
Do they still have the really good running back they had last year? Or did he graduate?
I don't think so.
I can't remember what his name was, but he was really good. I don't know if you've been over there to see their facilities, Kevin.
I have not in person.
But they have some really nice facilities. And during all the COVID restrictions, I guess it didn't really tournaments and things. I actually did a 9 and 10-year-old district little league tournament over there at Mount Island Charter. It was fun. Yes. And the parents actually weren't crazy. But
those kids aren't big enough to protect you from the foul balls and the bad pitches.
No, but they were good kids. I enjoyed. Most of them were good kids.
That's when you tell the catcher, like, look, you're so small. The only thing you can protect is my feet. Don't make them vulnerable too, because I'm going to tuck them behind you.
But they have everything's turf, nice facility. So I figured if that game was out Mountain Island, they could get that game in. But if it's at East Lincoln, they still have a natural surface, so that would be difficult to get that game in.
Do you think the more schools, or what do you feel about the AstroTurf? Is that good, bad? You like? Is it
In the
better?
summer, it's miserable. It is definitely more suitable for a fall, but even in normal times when we're playing games in August, I think it's too warm for that. Although we are playing in the evening, it just absorbs the heat so much. It's really for more temperate, northern climates. I don't really understand why we're doing that in the South when, you got Bermuda grass. It's beautiful, and it just, makes for a great playing surface.
Well, the way the Kings Mountain folks described it is so they could play as many sports and as many games as you would want to without ever having to worry about it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of their explanation, is that they wanted the Pop Warner teams to be able to play. They didn't want to have cancellations or moves because of weather and stuff. So that's the talk. I wasn't given an official bullet point list, but just from listening and talking to people, that's what I'm getting. This comes across Observer Prep, 17-0. North Gaston is losing to Huss. So Huss up 17-0 on this board. They've got a couple of other scores that aren't from around the area. We had somebody last night. Tom Warren, thanks for watching and listening, was asking about other scores from around the area, and kind of said, we don't care as much as, or keep up with it. Somebody's got to keep up with these guys. Like nobody else does, these counties and stuff. So
yeah,
you can find other organizations.
You could find or you could find Guilford County, Mecklenburg County. You could find the bigger, but it's harder to find our counties outside. I mean, I don't think Raleigh even knows anything exists west of I-77.
Well, Kings Mountain kicked out the radio station, so and South Point lost theirs, and so that's who's doing theirs now is GNC, that was doing the Kings Mountain.
What
games.
do you mean? You mean that Belmont doesn't have the radio station anymore?
No, WGNC Gaston is doing it now, and it's actually part of. Here's what's funny about it now, Tom. GNC rents. They run their studios out of KTC Studios in Shelby, and they're doing the South Point games. Remember, South Point didn't want us to have anything to do with it, so they don't even. I'm guessing they don't know that, but I'm just telling you, it just goes to show people in charge of the purse sometimes that make the decisions on things may not be as informed as they believe they are.
It's frustrating. It's been a frustrating year. I mean, we're doing the best we can. And I'm just glad we still have a game of the week on the radio.
Right.
I just wish that, no disrespect to the Crest crowd, but I just knew that Crest was going to be in control of that game the entire the game. And then the Burns South Point was back and forth in a really, really good game. So that would have been the game to be at, but circumstances dictate otherwise. I was under the impression that we were not allowed to do radio there, but that wasn't really the case, that we just wanted an extra Crest game because we couldn't cover the Crest Kings Mountain game, something like that.
Well, without that game, yes. So when we lost the Crest Kings Mountain game, we only had one Crest game on the schedule because of that. And so that week ended up being another Burns game, I think. And so it worked out to where the best thing for everybody is if we don't go down there and, I guess, double radio, double book, get in the way and stay here. So, so there's with Chris now we've got this first game, and then I guess the who they play Kings Mountain. I guess they don't play Shelby this year, right? That
Crest does not play Shelby. Crest does play Burns.
Yeah, and so they scrimmage that on. So I'm trying to find some of these other ones. The Max Preps folks, somebody's not keeping up with any of that on that. So I found just now the Huss score on Twitter. And so you folks, if you'll hashtag us, let us know. We're more than happy to tweet out the scores. Like I said, I've got one guy on here who tweets everything out of the East Coast, and he never tweets out everything on this side. So right, yeah. It goes that way. I'm gonna look up some of these scores. Tom, you want to go over some of the scores just go over all of them. So
sure,
and then we can give some of the updated ones here in a minute.
Chase 56, Cherryville 9. That was last night. Heard right here on WCSL 56-9. Coach Chris Cogdell, congratulations to you, first victory as the head coach. Crest defeats Forest View 38-13, as heard on WHS, and on WLON last night we had North Lincoln over West Lincoln at 10-6. RS Central in control. Last I heard, 27-0 over East Rutherford. Burns squeaks by South Point by a late goal line stand, or I wouldn't call it a goal line stand, a stand on a 2-point conversion, if you want to call it that. But South Point goes for 2, tries to get the victory, comes up short. Burns wins 28-27. Shelby up on East Gaston, 40-6. Kramer and Kings Mountain will be played tomorrow. Berry Academy, 31-13 over Ashbrook. I don't even know who's coaching Ashbrook this year. I know it was Brian Andrews, and then I don't think Brian's there anymore. I'm not sure who's even coaching Ashbrook this year. I have to look that up. And Hunter Huss over North Gaston, 17-0 was the last score that we had.
That's the last score that we got, right.
And then Thomas Jefferson defeats the Community School of Davidson 25-9. Mountain Island Charter and East Lincoln will be played tomorrow night. Lincolnton defeats Newton Conover 27-13. Bessemer City 52-8. They lose. Pine Lake Prep beats them 52-8. Is that right, Kevin?
Barely.
Barely. 52-8. Maiden, as we said, with heavy hearts, their longtime coach Tom Brown.
Bessemer outscored them in the fourth quarter, Tom.
Excellent point. Maiden. And with, as I said, with heavy hearts, they lost their longtime coach, Tom Brown, passed away, unfortunately, this week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Maiden fans and their community. Tom Brown was very well respected, very, very well loved at Maiden. One of the top, did he have the most wins in North Carolina history or up there? It was, he's a ton of wins. I know Terry would know. 21-7, they defeat Bandies last night. So our thoughts and prayers with the Bandies community as they mourn the loss of their former longtime coach. Ford defeats Patton 28-6. High Brighton defeats Bunker Hill 50-13. West Iredell and Drone, haven't heard anything, nor have we heard anything about West Caldwell and East Burke, or McDowell and Hickory, or Freedom and St. Stephen's.
I got 23-0 Huss now. I don't know if they haven't gone for their extra point or
right.
what, but they're sitting on 23-0 right now.
Alexander Central and South Iredell, a bizarre score. 7-2. South Iredell defeats Alexander Central. Watauga.
What if the 7 was a defensive score?
That would be something. What if it was 3-2? I would love to see it at 3. I mean, if it's going to be that, let's see a 3-2 game.
But if it was 7-2 and a defensive score, Tom, you had a defensive safety, a pick six or fumble, and a kicker for the extra point. So no actual offensive point.
I would like to see in the history of all football games if there's ever been a 3-2 game.
I'm sure there has.
I'm sure there has. We'd have to look. Watauga and South Caldwell, no word of whether they're playing tonight or they're playing tomorrow. And then Christ the King and Union Academy, again, no word. I just have to assume a lot of these games just weren't played tonight, Kevin.
There's a guy on the that tweets. It's called Scorigami.
Scorigami, that's awesome.
And what he means, so every time they get a score that's never happened in an NFL game, he tweets it out. And so you're asking, like, has there ever been a 3-2? So that's kind of what that guy's powerhouse there. The most common score I can tell you right now is 20-17.
20-17?
20-17 has happened 269 times.
In NFL?
Yes.
Okay. So did you find a 3-2?
Well,
nope.
I'm scrolling way down. I'm start at the bottom and come back.
So it's called Scorigami.
There's no order of this, so I have to just keep on going until I see a 2. I'm in like 700 right now, Tom. You know how easy to read. There's 2-37, 2-11, 2-55.
I'm telling you, I don't think it's ever happened.
I'm sure there. We'll see. I'm not looking through 1,600.
Okay, hold on. In NCAA history, 1965, Clemson 3, Duke 2.
There you go. Hey, that's 2 KTC affiliates.
Yep, that's right. How about that?
How about I can give you the missing scores? Let's see if that's in here. Doesn't look like it. Here's the missing scores, Tom. We'll get 2-2, 4-0, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, 5-2, 5-4, 5-5, 646-574-8284-878894.
So there has been.
So 7-2, I wanted to look up South Ira. They did not set history tonight with the 7-2 game. There has been an NFL game at 7-2. So they did not set football history, at least tonight with that, or last night with that one.
There actually has been 6.
Okay.
3-2 games.
What did you Google to find that? I typed that in literally. How many NFL games?
Has there ever been a 3-2 football game?
Oh, so the algorithm liked the words "has there ever been better?"
Yeah.
47-0 right now, Tommy. RS Central.
47-0. Good Lord.
47-0, and listen to Paul earlier. It sounded like going to be a competitive game.
I'm just wondering, is that because RS Central's really good? Or is East Rutherford just not very good this year?
Wasn't it last year, the year before? Last year, didn't we have RS was in the power poll 4-5-0, something like started
Yeah,
out?
they did. They started off strong. They started off their year last year by beating McDowell. I remember that.
Yeah, and then everybody was mad at me because I gave them 4 points for beating a 4A school.
That's right. That's right.
How did the poll work out?
Yeah. It always works itself out in the end. But it's just going to be harder this year. It's just weird sitting here in March or late February, early March, talking about football scores.
What's weird is the final score came across for the Bessemer game at 8:38.
So, yeah, that was quick, wasn't it?
How would you like to be done Friday night football at 8:30?
I could dig that. I could dig that.
8:30.
Last game, we were there till, we were there late.
Steve DeGree has tweeted out a shot. It says best hit of the game. So I guess we're going to pull that up and see what Steve says.
He's not helping coach the middle school this year, is he?
He said something about he had a middle school game the other day. So let's see. This is the best hit of the game. Don't know who, where, but we'll try to follow the ball for you guys. White's got the offense. So I guess Shelby's about to make a big hit here, Tom.
I would assume so.
The big hit yesterday was caught him from behind and a helmet flew off. He is right. Okay, not only did the helmet flew off, it rolled 15 yards. And honestly, what happened is the quarterback, for young quarterbacks, don't stop running. So, Tom, what'd you see? He runs, sets his feet, tries to step up in the pocket. Well, guess what? There's usually somebody behind you. And I hope the kid's okay. I guess if Steve retweeted it, he got up and he's okay.
Yeah, sure. Surely he's okay.
So I'm going to have to go ahead and get them going, Tom. We're going to come back, and I'm going to have to get them off the air here in a few minutes. So we're going to go to them for the post-game show and let Brent and them wrap it up in a second after I get a couple of these scores across.
Is the game over now?
Yeah, game's over.
Okay.
It's a final there. Let's check in over on Waggy first. We're going to send you to Waggy, folks, and then we're going to get the other guys off the air if we can. And I'm missing. Did I exit off my audio? I guess I did. I'm going to have to type more buttons in. Let's see that. So we're going to go over to on the WAGY and check in with them. I know it's a blowout too, folks. Heck, I tell you what, there's no sense to send it back out to them. Let's just keep it here, me and Tom. We got basketball tomorrow, and we've got Shelby and North Lincoln. We'll pull that back up, and then Crest at West Rowan, right, Tom?
That's correct.
Shelby at North Lincoln, right. Crest at West.
That's correct.
Now, I'm gonna walk down the hall, Tommy, and get next week's schedule. And then I'm going to come back and start marking on the board some of these final scores if you want to kind of go over the scores once again for everybody here.
Okay.
On
we can do
the
that.
show.
All right. So scores from around the area. Shelby, what was the final score? 40-6? We're working on a Shelby score. I know Shelby was big. 46-6. Shelby a winner. That is a final. Shelby over East Gaston. Chase last night defeated Cherryville 56-9. Crest defeated Forest View 38-13. North Lincoln defeats West Lincoln 10-6. RS Central big over East Rutherford. I want to say it was I want to say it was 47-0, but I'll check that one. But our Essential big over East Rutherford tonight. Burns defeats South Point 28-27 last night. Kramer and Kings Mountain moved to Saturday. Berry Academy defeats Ashbrook last night 31-13. North Gaston Hunter Huss, last we heard, it was 17-0 Hunter Huss over North Gaston. It's the last score we had. No, 23-0 is the last score we had. So that's Hunter Huss over North Gaston. Thomas Jefferson 25-9 over the Community School of Davidson. That's the last night. Mountain Island Charter and East Lincoln moved to Saturday. Lincolnton over Newton Conover 27-13. Pine Lake Prep big over Bessemer City 52-8. Maiden defeats Bandy's 21-7. That was last night. Ford over Patton 28-6. That was also last night. High Brighton 50, Bunker Hill 13. That was also last night. West Iredell Drone, West Caldwell East Burke, McDowell Hickory, Freedom St. Stephen's. We have no word on those games, whether they've been postponed. Haven't seen anything online. South Iredell 7-2 over Alexander Central. Watauga, South Caldwell, Christ the King, and Union Academy. No word on those games. Might be moved to tomorrow night. Kevin?
All right. Yeah, they might be. Well, I don't know. The only one else I've got up to come up is the Huss, and I've still got 23-0. Nothing on Drone West Iredell. I'm going to type it in here in just a second. Let me get these scores. Tweet out, folks. Scores, highlights, and more on KTC. On What's Up Shopper, Steve DeGree tonight, tweeting out for Shelby. Here's Jeff Jones's Instagram, Tom. Dominant performance by the Golden Lions to kick off this strange spring football season.
It is a strange football season, I'll say that. It's just everything feels weird. We're doing football in March. Usually I'm freezing my keister off out on a baseball field somewhere for a night game. A lot of time this time of year, too, they cancel the JVs and just play the varsity at 4:30 to take advantage of a little sunlight. But now, not this year. You know, baseball's weird, too. Baseball's not going to play till almost May. Last week in April. Girls soccer getting ready to start out. So they're kind of, at least they're keeping their regular season. They play in the spring. Boys soccer started in January. So we had January boys soccer this year. I think everybody's going to be ready for normalcy next year, Kevin. So
yeah, so I was about to tell you something on crap. I'll get back to that's what it was. The chase. You was talking about Coach Cogdell, big dominant performance. Got you a Danny Akers stat. Chase over 400 and about 10 yards. This is close to is unofficial. Cherville about 75. So just wanted to let you know about how big it was last night. That there was a Cherville score I wanted to bring up, Tom, and I want to show you Caleb sitting in the stands, couldn't control his emotions on one of the scores. Oh, these are last night. Did we show the stop last night for Burns? Did we ever get to that?
I don't think we did.
All right, this is Coach Devine. This is he retweeted our post. This is Matt Royster up in the stands tweeting the game. This is the final play, folks, of the night. South Point down 1, going for 2 here. This is for the ball game, and like Tom said, maybe the playoffs. So obviously they're going in the red bone, Tom, handoff fullback, and it doesn't work.
I tell you what, I don't know.
Do they have an
about
offensive
that.
coordinator? Like, is there an official person that calls plays other than a head coach? Because it doesn't make sense if there is. Like, what's he do other than, hey, what are we going to do on this play? I think we should run the fullback dive.
I'll tell you what you do is you kick that extra point, you take that game to overtime.
At home?
At home, definitely. You're going to take that game to overtime.
So that was the big stop there on the goal line. Big win. Here is, let's try to find some other plays from last night. Give you guys some highlights. This is a Reed 6-yard run from Forest View, Tom. You talk a little about that young man's performance last night?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of speed. They're just not, like, the rest of the quarterback skills isn't really polished.
Right.
But the athleticism is there, and you can't teach that.
If you snap it to a quarterback against the Crest Chargers and he just runs straight to the corner of the end zone and scores, he's got to have some type of athleticism.
This is late in the game. A lot of
obviously.
This is late in the game, but like I've said earlier on the show, I'm a fan of that play. Give yourself an extra blocker. I mean, think about it. If you got a quarterback, you got an empty set. What are you going to do? You're going to bring in an H-back, an extra tight end over there to block, instead of quarterback handing the ball off and taking himself out of the play. So I like that play if you have an athletic quarterback. That was Reed, who was actually the second quarterback who came in. I want to say that the first kid was Dawkins, who was typically a running back. They might have had some issue at quarterback last night. So I'm not really sure what it was. Somebody hurt. With the COVID protocols, Kevin, you got no idea what's going to go on.
So this is the Cherville Ironman's touchdown. They were down 50-2 or whatever it was. And this is the one where Caleb is announcing, and I mean not announcing, he's broadcasting, and he slips the wordy dirt on the play. I'm going to show the play. You folks can't hear it at home. I'm going to tell you what he said, but this is the play. And you'll see why in just a second. Cherville's touchdown here. Shotgun, bobbled, hands off left, and watch the end of the play. Boom! He just run over a Trojan, did he? That's a truck stick, right? Caleb, I'll play it for you after. Folks, you can go on KTC and hear the sound where Caleb commented. All you could hear, he just came out of his mouth. Damn. And there is a damn.
Yeah. Just ran him over. Huh?
And Caleb don't weigh more than this straw in my drink. Like, he weighs $110. He weighs as much as that tripod. And this kick around a boom.
Yeah.
And
a pretty big lick.
You get beat 56 or 52-8, whatever it was. You still remember that though, won't you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're gonna remember that.
And the poor kid for Chase. They're going to show all them highlights during film week and then show that one.
Oh, they're going to show that.
And he's the one kid, the poor guy.
Do you think Cherville can compete in their conference at all?
To win, no. Probably Thomas Jefferson is going to take that this year. I would say hands down, maybe even. I don't know if anybody's going to compete with them this year. Shorthanded, wondering how it affected the 1A schools. I think what affects the 1A schools more than anything is not. So like Kings Mountain and Shelby, they lost players to colleges. Cherville and Bessemer, they run into that you don't have enough people thing to play 3 sports in one semester.
Right.
So that's a big thing. Then you've got eligibility. All the schools are having eligibility concerns right now because of the online school and what's eligible, what's not, what's right. Are you doing your work? Or are you not? So I think those 1A schools are hit hardest by it. I was talking somebody a while ago about the 2A, 3A basketball, and I try and tell them 2A, 3A basketball is like, I think maybe you even made a comment about, they teams don't have any big men. Almost anybody over 6'5" now is either at a private school, a charter school, which is a 1A, or at a 4A. For the last 10, 15 years, Tom, going through the 2 and 3As, there are almost no big men. Now, down near the championships, we've run into a couple that's got some. Ben L. Smith, that beat Kings Mountain a few years ago, might have been the tallest team I've ever seen.
Was that the game you and I did?
Is it that we went to Winston-Salem?
Yeah.
And every kid was like,
yeah,
they all look like Bowl.
Right.
You remember? Okay.
Yeah.
So you were there. So they were all tall, skinny, and lanky. That might have been the tallest team I've seen in a while. Besides the Ashbrook team that went to the state championship a few years back that beat Crest in the Final Four, they had a kid that was 6'8" and 2 guards that were 6'5". That was a pretty tall team. But other than that, you don't see much in the 2s and 3s. So it's weird how each level is affected by schedule, timing, COVID, and all that. And you asking about Cherville, Chase may be very good. You're going to find out next week.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
And the coach for Chase knows every single thing y'all do.
That's true. That's true.
So how do you handicap that?
Well, I'd like to say, without seeing the tape on Chase, I know.
Well, I've got 56 of them. You ready for them? Here we go.
Yeah, I saw last year. Chase had a pretty good season last year, if I remember correctly. And their coach left.
They lost. Yeah. They lost 2 regular season games.
Yeah,
Burns and Shelby. They scored 40 points on everybody else.
Right.
Except one other team. Them Yellow Jackets held them to 28, but they still beat Bessemer, but they held them to 28. They dropped 40 on everybody else.
Yeah.
Then they lost in the playoffs to one of these. I've got to go in there and get them off the air, it looks like. I think he's wrapping that up, ain't it?
Sounds
like he's doing. All right, folks. We're going to Tom's going to give you some more scores. I'm going to get them off the air, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to do what we do and finish up here. About 30 minutes left here on our show and to give you all the scores. So, Tom, one more time for the scores. We're going to take a break. When we get done, I get them switched over.
Okay. So, last night, as we were talking about, Chase 56, Cherryville 9. Crest, a big winner over Forest View, 38-13. North Lincoln defeats West Lincoln, 10-6. RS Central tonight, I believe the score was 47-0. Big winners over East Rutherford. Burns, late stand on a 2-point conversion. They hold off South Point, 28-27. Shelby defeats East Gaston, 46-6. Berry Academy defeats Ashbrook, 31-13 last night. Thomas Jefferson defeats the Community School of Davidson, 25-9. Lincolnton over Newton Conover, 27-13. Pine Lake Prep tonight defeated Bessemer City, 52-8. Last night, Maiden defeated Bandy's, 21-7. Also last night, these scores all last night, Ford defeats Patton, 28-6. High Brighton defeats Bunker Hill, 50-13. South Iredale defeats Alexander Central, 7-2. Last score I heard from the Hunter Huss North Gaston game was Hunter Huss 23, North Gaston 0. These games have been either postponed or we just haven't had any word on them. I know the Kramer Kings Mountain game has been postponed to Saturday. West Iredale and Drone, West Caldwell and East Burke, McDowell and Hickory, Freedom and St. Stephen's, Watauga and South Caldwell, Christ the King and Union Academy. All were slated for tonight, but we haven't heard anything. Those games may have been postponed until Saturday. Sometimes they like to make them up on Monday of the following week. So we'll just see what those schools decided to do, and we'll get that information to you on our website if we're able to. So Kevin's looking for a marker, and he's going to update the North Gaston Hunter Huss score, I think. No, I last one we had was 23-0.
Yeah.
Hunter Huss over North Gaston.
See what this says. Well, that one backed up. It was 23-0. Now it's 14-0.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just hard to get the when especially this season. It's just everything's been turned inside out and backwards.
All
so
right.
Kevin's working on that score right now.
All right, let's do some highlights while we pull up the other scores. I got plenty of time for highlights. I know that's what some of y'all wanted to tune in for. We've got Shelby highlights. We've got some RS Central and East Gaston. We've got Cherryville and Chase. We've got Crest. And we've got one Bessemer City highlight, one Cherryville highlight. We got one run in there. So let's pull up some of these as Tom does his best to round up some scores for you folks. I'm going to go through some highlights. I know Tom didn't get to see all these, so let's scroll back down. So, folks, we're sending folks out to the games.
All right, well, I do have a score here, Kevin.
Go ahead.
Freedom and St. Stephen's did play tonight.
Okay.
Freedom, a winner, 18-14. Actually, they played this game on Thursday, Kevin. So 18-13, Freedom, a winner over St. Stephen's last night. So I got that one for you. So still, I tried to find Hickory McDowell, had nothing on that one. I'll see if I could have swore East Burke said they were playing on Saturday.
Hard to do a scoreboard show with 3 days of football.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so this is Fuller with a 25-yard run for Crest last night. Tom could probably tell you more about this. Handoff keeps it up the middle.
But look at the hole. Look at the hole.
We mentioned that last night. Like, just he shook two guys, and the third guy fell over the 20-yard line. And he walks in, Tom. Did y'all mention this about this late hit?
Yes,
I was wondering. So, if
yes.
you folks watching at home, he's on the goal line. The kid takes 2 more steps to tackle him.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty.
That referee gives zero craps.
Yeah, I know.
Watch this. Boom!
Yeah, I know.
We rewatched that one more time. Right there in front of him.
Yeah.
Nothing. 10
one-
nothing, Chris.
That should have been a penalty. As far as the East Burke game, it was still scheduled for tonight, but have not heard anything. See if I can find anything on Union Academy.
Tom, Chase had an outstanding trick play last night. I think this was the kick return and not that one. So I'm gonna show you that. I mean, they had if this is the trick play, everyone in the stadium was open. Put it that way. He could have threw it to the referee running down the middle of the field if he had wanted to. Let's see if this is. I think this is it, Tom. This is Chase and Cherville. Might have been the first score. We'll tell you. Yep, here it is. So they're going to run a reverse flea flicker. If you folks would keep it up. So the quarterback hands to the running back. He goes to the left, hands it to the wide receiver, who pitches it back to the quarterback, Tom, and then watch the wide receivers get open on this play. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen more wide receivers open. There's the pitch back to the quarterback. Now, when he lets the go, ball's in the air. Look where the safety's at. Safety is standing on the 37-yard line. There's 3 receivers and a referee behind
I was getting
him.
ready to say, it looks like the wide receivers are the safeties and the safeties are the wide
Everyone was open. In actuality, he threw it, look, to the shortest one.
Yeah.
He threw it to the guy at the 38.
That's
he
one
had
of those.
2 guys wide open at the 50.
You got to look at that twice and say, who was on defense?
Yeah, nobody was. And then Cherville, he hit him in the front, a referee. So watch this, Tom. It's a cheap shot. If a referee saw it, they probably could have called something on it. I don't know, but he hit him in the chest, so it's kind of debatable. So watch this guy on the backside. So I know you're not supposed to be hitting people that aren't looking. Right? Did you see that?
No.
Okay. Look at the bottom down here at the 50-yard line.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So 7 comes across the kid's watching the ball handler.
Yeah.
He gets in front of him and he hits him. I'm not a referee. I don't know the exact rules. Either way, it's not good. It's not good sportsmanship.
It's not a blindside block, though.
He's not looking.
That's not a blindside block.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, but if a guy's not looking, they even got those rules now. I think in college or something that you can't.
You can't blindside, but that's not blindside.
That's what I'm. That's why I was like, "What is this?" So like, he's not looking at him, and he still hit him. He hit him in the shoulder and knocked him down. It's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap, but I don't think it's a blindside block.
Like, you got the touchdown already, but anyway, that was a Kylan Miller touchdown. How about Cameron Wilkins puts them up 14-0? This is last night, folks. So here's Cameron Wilkins on the play. We're gonna get. If your team gets a highlight and scores, let us know. Send it in. Bounce out to the left side. Chase scores from 20 yards out. Tag us at KTC Broadcasting. Hashtag KTC Sports. We'll get the highlights out. How about a Tylen Ruff 3-yard touchdown run, Tommy, over in their Packers green and gold?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this from, I want to say that one might have been one of their longer drives, and it was capped off by that 5-yard run. But I'm looking for the Watauga score. Don't have that one either.
Lamont Wilson started the scoring for Burns last night, 6-0 on a 1-yard run. Not much of a highlight to show you, so we're going to skip over that one. As far as we don't have a good camera on it, and 1 yard in. Here's a 22-2 Chase goes up on a 5-yard run here over the Cherville lineman. High snap, quarterback keeper. Jumps over a guy, breaks the tackle, and into the end zone. 2 things that we did see, Tom, last night: high snaps and bad tackling.
Yeah,
we saw some not too good wrapping up last night around the area. Here's Cameron Sweezy with a 2-yard run, two-point conversion, fails on this. Up the middle for the score. He's a big boy, isn't he, Tommy?
Oh yeah. He's about 6'2". He's a pretty stout kid. So he's able to break tackles. And
he does a great job taking on hits and physicality. Let's see. I want to show you a couple of the Pine Lake big scores. There's a 5-yard run, 8-yard run. It's pretty bad when I can just scroll through and look for the longest one, isn't it? On that 5-yard run. I mean, it seems like everything worked. We showed you that one from RS Central. with a big win tonight, 27. Here's a 46-yard fumble recovery for Pine Lake Prep. This was a big play. Bessemer had the ball, chance to get back in the ball game, and the fumble, and then out they go.
Bessemer had a chance to get back in the game. Yeah, whatever.
Tom, you're so pessimistic.
Well, it might have been like one of those deals like when you're playing summer league baseball and one team only had 7 players, so you give them a couple of your players so you can play.
Yeah.
Maybe Pine Lake should have done that.
Had a chance.
Here's a few of our players.
Omar Phillips starts off the Shelby scoring with a 3-yard touchdown run, and it just kept on going from there. We had 20-yard Hewitt 1-yard run. How about a Tyler Arrington end around? This is a pretty decent run for Shelby on this. Man in motion, pitch to him. Arrington just around the corner. Shakes one guy, beats the edge, shook the cameraman too, Steve. Touchdown.
Did I just read that the Malachi Hamrick, the kid from Shelby, has committed to Chapel Hill?
I have not seen anything about that at all. I know he had like 4 or 5 schools.
Let me see if I saw it because it just came up here.
The schools I saw, Tom, were Notre Dame, Ohio State.
What Malachi Hamrick's commitment to North Carolina means for Ohio State football. 4-star. He's a 4-star recruit, outside linebacker.
Hey, have you met him?
I've met him in the
gym.
Very
tall, very big kid. He's really nice. He came up to talk to me at a basketball game. Here's a 7-yard run by Bessemer City's Dalton Watson. Jameer Holmes scores on the 2-point conversion on the keeper. So here's Bessemer's only score of the night against Pine Lake Prep tonight. It was off left tackle, and he walked in for the score. So Yellow Jackets get on the board with that one. Again, that's the Dalton Watson touchdown. Shelby then went up 26-0. RS Central 20-0, and it just kept getting more and more in those games. Here's a 40-yard touchdown. Let's see if Tanner got this one. He's just in a bad spot tonight. Again, every time I show up, we're going to apologize for it. That he ended up being inside behind.
Yeah, he's got his shadow in there. Yeah.
Like, obviously, Tom, whoever built the press box didn't put in, press windows. That's just a regular house window.
I know.
Instead of big, clear windows. This is a 40-yard touchdown run for RS Central. And, Tom, they had all kinds of runs tonight.
That ended up being 47-0?
Yes. I think I'm waiting on Tanner here. He just texted me back. I'll tell you the final score, and I'll write it on the board. Yes, sir. That was the final.
47-0. It's on there at the bottom, buddy. You walk right by it, right there. And that was on WAGY. Paul Foster had the call. I enjoyed that one, listening to Paul. And who's he doing those games with?
Jonathan Bland. I know it's a normal name, and I keep forgetting it. I've tried to find an easy way to remember Bland. Is normal the right word to describe?
I guess. I would say mundane. Is that it? Mundane is that the word you're looking for? But there's nothing really exciting in the first week, though, other than the fact that we actually have football. Right. That's exciting.
The North Link and West game, game is close, and the Burns and South Point.
And Burns and South Point. Everything else is blowouts.
Across the board. And that's one thing, Tom, we talked our conferences, and I would think those could alleviate some of that. For example, we're talking that conferences last night. Burns and South Point would be in that conference. That was the closest one. West and North would be in their conference. Yeah. Forest View and Crest would be in different conferences according to my things.
Because Crest has so many more players, yeah.
I'll tell you right now how many they had. Whoop! I grabbed every sheet but the one that I needed. Crest last year had 58 players, Forest View 44. So that's 14 more players, a whole side of the defense that they had. And, we talked about how important that is. So 38-13. I mean, it's a big win. I
want to say Burns' total numbers, JV varsity combined, might be in the 80s this year. I can remember at one time it was over 100 when I was first at Burns. I think that there's some things that have dissuaded kids from playing, and plus the population of Burns is not what it once was. At one time, Kevin, we were about 1,200 kids, and now we're probably about 850. So we have the disappearing student body at some of these rural schools in North Carolina.
I'm gonna pull this picture up, Tom. This is RJ. This is Tom. This is Robbie Roop tweeting, "What do you look like after getting into your first varsity game?" So,
yeah, that's right.
RJ got in there.
That's great.
Now the stat sheet says 6'2", 305, but I've got some inside information that says that stat sheet might lie a little bit on the weight, Tom. A little closer to 275.
Yeah.
Either way, that's a big boy.
Yeah, it's a big kid.
But RJ has been hitting the weight room, and I told Rob, I was like, he looks fantastic. Looks like he's been working hard. And talking to Bessemer, I mentioned, I was like, Rob, got in the game late there in a 38-13 win. With 16 players at Bessemer, we need a whole line and a D line. He can play the whole game if he wants over there. Come on over.
I know.
I said, he already looks good in green and gold. I know a couple of houses he could use for an address. You know how that works.
That is. I mean, the second and third stringers at Crest could probably play for a lot of other schools.
Well, that's one thing, that's what's tough, for these kids. You send them with 16, and then I was talking to Andre, it was like, it'd be weird, not playing on a team. And it's even weird to me talking to someone when they say, that played high school, and like, what position you play? And they say something like defensive end. And then I'm like, what other positions did you play? And that was it. And so that, to me, that was weird when you talk to people that only play like one position, because it just didn't happen at Cherville and Bessemer. No. And some of in the other smaller schools, especially, there was 5 guys on every team that played both sides for the most part, I would say. Anyway, and even some of these guys on 2As in these big schools play a little 2-way, but not too much.
The Dawkins kid for Forest View was playing quarterback, he played middle linebacker, and he ran back kickoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, when I played, Freedom had Leon Johnson, who I don't know, arguably could have been one of the best players that ever came out of. I mean, he made it to the pros. Leon Johnson played for the Jets.
Yep.
So I remember.
You remember the other Johnson?
What's that?
You remember the other Johnson?
No.
That was at Carolina. They had 2 Johnson running backs.
I remember Leon Johnson because I played against him.
Curtis was the other one.
Yes, now I remember that. But Leon Johnson for Freedom, he punted, he kicked off, he ran back punts, he ran back kickoffs. He was the quarterback, and he was the free safety. Literally, he never came off the field. Leon Johnson never came off the field.
I was all of that, but I did not. They didn't allow me to return anything. So I kicked quarterbacks, free safety, but I was not allowed to return anything.
And he ran back punts, and he
did a lot of that in the NFL.
Yeah,
that's what he was good at.
Yeah, one time that they didn't respect me very much, and I was able to kick it over his head. Thank God. Second one, he backed up a little bit, and it was about a 40-yard punt. He ran it back for about 25 yards.
Did you get to tackle?
I remember him running at me, and if you've ever seen anybody like somebody who's special can run, it's just different than everybody else.
Yeah.
But I remember him coming across the field, and I just thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? I was like, but he just kept going, and basically they forced him into me, and I just kind of put my shoulder in him, and he went out of bounds. And I heard the announcer at Freedom say, tackle by Santa Fanti. So I got credit for a tackle, which wasn't really a tackle, but
somebody got credit for it.
Some guy named
Santa Fanti got credit.
Somebody had to get credit for that tackle, but you used to see that more. I mean, and you don't see it, especially at your Crest. At Burns, we still have, some guys going both ways. They try to avoid it as much as possible because, it does wear on the kids. It's hard to play both ways. And you got Bessemer out there with 16 players. I don't know. I applaud him for playing, but I might have just said, not this year, guys. We're just not going to do it.
Well, first of all, how do you even practice that way?
Right. How can you even practice?
Then, anybody gets hurt, sickness, anything like that. All right, this is an Adams 17-yard run for Shelby, putting them up 40 to nothing. Like I said, they're supposed to have some good running backs. And when anytime you see a running back and he's got a towel in his back and it's flying up in the air, Tom, he's moving around a little bit out there. So Shelby went up 40 to nothing. Final score at Shelby,
46-6.
I lost it.
46-6
over East Gaston. Tanner just texted me that final there of also 47-0 against East Rutherford.
I just didn't expect that between East Rutherford and RS Central.
I can tweet these scores.
I thought RS Central and East Rutherford would be a competitive game, but 47-0. Wow.
Right.
RS Central's program has come along, like we were talking about earlier. In recent years, they have had better football teams and competitive. So I'm glad to see some of the Rutherford County teams, and especially with RS Central and Chase, have improved in recent years. I think the Chase coach was from Asheville, and he had a chance to get a job back there and went back to Asheville. I think that's the story on that one.
Well, if he was married, I'm sure she would rather be in Asheville.
Yeah.
Ladies love Asheville.
Yeah, they do. My wife likes it. It's just a little bit too, it's just that, especially from here, it's even further, but it's just far enough to be a pain, like that hour and 20-minute drive,
Well, Right. So what's weird about Boone is it's only an hour and a half from home, but all my friends would drive to Chapel Hill without blinking in a heartbeat, a 3.5 hour drive from Cherryville. But hey, y'all want to come up to Boone? I come up that mountain.
Yeah, it's
people like when you're going up the hill think you're going further than you actually are. It's only an hour and a half, hour and 15. It's hour and 15 from Lincoln if you move right.
I was just in Boone not too long ago. I bought a camper from a guy, and so the title got messed up. Had to drive the only DMV open. Hickory was closed. A couple others were closed. So I went up there to Boone to the DMV. So yeah, Boone has a wonderful DMV if anybody needs to go there. We'll say that they do. I've been there. Turn around, came back. Hour and 20 minutes up there, turn around, signed the title over, came back, hour and 20 minutes.
That's parents do like that you can actually get up there in a day trip and back. As opposed, like if you go to Chapel Hill, that's 7 hours of driving. If you're eating dinner, that's a lot.
Yeah, you could do a day trip to Boone. It's not bad. It's not bad.
So the last thing I got on Huss is still 23-0. Still nothing on West Caldwell, East Burke. We're going to have as many, if not all of these, in the morning. I kind of want to get through as many highlights as I can here, Tom, for everybody, because this is kind of what we want to do the show. We want to spread the word. If you've got friends, family at the games, tag us, tweet us. We'll pull it up. We'll share it as well. And that's kind of like, folks kind of see what we're doing here. We're trying to give you guys some scores and updates around there. It being 3 days of football, like today, Tom, we got a little bit less to talk about. If this is all in one night, so, you see this. So let's picture what we had on the board. We were supposed to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games with people tweeting from. So tonight we sat here with 2 with people tweeting from. I'm going to be a little bit more busier next Friday night, probably during this show. So folks, I know tonight wasn't it that exciting, but we're doing the best we can. With 2 games and there were 2 blowouts. But Tom and I, if you got fans, friends, family at these games, and you get a highlight, you get pictures of or video of cheerleaders, bands, fans, anybody doing crazy. Tom, if they got pictures of streakers, send them to us, tag them.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Don't want to share that one. It is the internet.
It is. Yeah, so we can do what we want. I guess
you can.
The wild, wild west of telecommunications.
I was trying to explain dial-up to Tanner the other day.
They don't remember this,
I was like, you kids, pull up your Instagram and look at your Kardashian girls on your phones in a blink. I said, we used to have to type in or hit a button and wait 5 minutes for a picture of Pamela Anderson to come up on the screen. Yeah.
I mean, that's been gone for about.
It sounded like
15 years.
A donkey getting his get electrocuted or something.
What I had when I lived over here in Cherryville, and it's been so long. It's before I lived in the bigger house I did in Cherryville. It's when I lived in the little one. We had dial-up, and when I was on the internet, I didn't want anybody to call because if somebody called, it kicked me off the internet.
Right.
So, yeah, but then I got high speed about 2002 or 2003 and just never looked back.
Well, folks, we're going to that's it for the highlights. We went through them all and had a good. There we go. No more football tomorrow. We'll pick back up next Friday for football unless we start having dumb rain changes again, Tom.
Let's hope not. Gosh almighty.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and warn you. Pull up have you seen the weather report?
Yep.
Thursday is supposed to be nice and Friday rain, just like this week. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
So I've got Thursday 64 degrees and sunny. Wednesday and Friday rain. Saturday rain. Sunday snowflakes.
I don't believe that.
I don't either. So basically, according to this, Tom, we might be having Thursday night football again next week.
No.
I'm telling you, it's supposed to rain Friday. And it was, some of the fun tweets on the internet is, hey guys, do know other states play football when it rains?
Well,
I played football in this state when it rains. That's what, that was what's weird.
If this holds,
I'm sure you did too.
Yeah. If this holds, looks like Monday's a wash. They're saying 80% chance of rain Monday. Tuesday's going to be nice but cool. Wednesday, showers. Thursday's nice. And then Friday, though, it's only a 30% chance of precipitation. And then next Saturday, a little bit greater. So we'll see. I'm actually supposed to go do a college JV game. So the colleges are having JV baseball, Kevin. So I'm going to go over there and do.
We got
Gardner Webb and
Yeti baseball.
We got some Yeti baseball coming up, too. So,
Gardner Webb is actually playing the Yetis in one game. And we're going to try to maybe even put that one on the radio if we can.
That'd be great. Is that does that count?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say. I don't know.
I have no idea about college baseball at all when it comes to divisions, what you can do, who you can play. I mean, you might as well ask me a beach volleyball question. And my answer would be May Trainer. If anybody knows what that means. Burns. It's Misty May and Trainer, the same two volleyball Olympians America has had for 27 years. I don't see how they're so good. They honestly, they might be the greatest athletes of all time. They've been in the Olympics as long as I've been alive, I think.
I wonder if they're going to do the Olympics this year. There's whispers that they might not.
Right. It's in Japan. I would say no.
When I read the story on the athletes, the problem is they have to train as if it's going to happen.
Right.
And then
our governor yesterday just let people in to games, but not on Friday, only on Saturday, because Friday it ended at 5:00. And it's just insane. You got your new score? Did we get that wrong? Or did I write that wrong? Did I write that wrong or did you tell me wrong? I wrote it wrong. Maiden 21-7 over Bandies. Tom mentioned that earlier with the passing of Tom Brown. Pine Lake Prep wins 52-8. I'm going to read these kind of as I type them in. So I'm typing all the scores in, folks, on KTC Broadcasting's Twitter page. And if I'm talking, I'm probably going to type something wrong, but we'll see how it goes. I hate these schools with Pine Lake Prep. They got these long names. Like Bessemer City, Tom. If you have two names, right?
Should be easy.
Why? No. If your school is named two names, so Bessemer City or East Lincoln, right?
Right.
I propose you should not have a mascot with two names.
Oh, okay.
So Bessemer City Yellow Jackets is just too much for me.
Should just be Bessemer City, right?
Also, Kings Mountain needs a new mascot.
Bessemer City Jackets.
That's fine, but Kings Mountain needs to do something about theirs. That drives me crazy. Repetition.
Kings Mountain Mountaineers?
Yes. Seriously, well, look, I like it because it's Appalachian State, App State Mountaineers, and the colors and everything, but that one's weird. Also, people always ask about the Cherville Lady Ironmen.
That is weird.
They were ahead of this trend long before the rest of the world was Cherville.
Any more of these scores, Kevin? Nobody's putting their information.
None of those are non-local ones, so we're not missing anything.
Didn't even get. Let's see.
That's not exactly beside us. 29 CS Davidson. Seems like I'm missing or getting. I think I got all these. All right, Tom. Let's just give the scores we got we'll wrap it up. We're only missing some folks that aren't in our area. The North Gaston Husk game, we're still waiting on it.
It was 23-0 last time.
23-0 is the last thing we saw. Type this in one more time and see what happens. Husk, North Gaston. Yeah, 23-0 still the last thing that I'm seeing on that. So I'm not going to type a final on that. And I'm sure by in the morning we'll have that. So tomorrow morning, Saturday Sports Talk with Terry and Hunter. We'll be here. JP will be back here in the morning. I guess
where did he go?
I sent him on home. He worked worked an early shift today to cut. He was supposed to be at Kings Mountain Day, then they moved the game, so I told him to come in here and help, and then I sent him home early. His main purpose, Tom, was to answer phones, and if something crazy happened, hit a couple buttons, and he did just that. So you have no idea. Last night, I was pretty much doing all that by myself and troubleshooting. So at some point, I ended up with a purple toe.
Dennis was in here, was he not?
Well, Dennis isn't really mobile right now or helpful. No, Dennis was outstanding talking because I had to leave him sitting here talking by himself quite a few times.
Oh, he's fine with that.
All right, next week, Pine Lake Prep at Cherryville. That's not good for the Ironmen if things just... Now, Cherryville played probably a way better team than Bessemer probably played. Yeah. Right? So it may even out. Yeah. We don't know. They got more players than Bessemer. East Lincoln at Lincolnton. East Lincoln, we don't know anything about them yet because they haven't played yet, but Lincoln has struggled a little bit, but ended up winning against Newton Conover. Polk County at East Rutherford. East Rutherford gave up 47 tonight, Tom. That's even more than Al Bundy scored in a single game one time with 4 scores. East Rutherford might be in trouble next week against Polk County.
Yeah.
And finally, I think the game of the week next week, Tom's what you're going to have. Burns at Chase.
Yeah, Chris Cogdell.
Cogdell and the Bulldogs.
I would say he's coming back to Burns. I mistakenly thought that was going to be at Burns, but that's going to be at Chase High School, and that will take place at 7:30 is what Max Press has for the kickoff.
Is that correct?
I don't know.
I think now Cherryville's conference went across the board 6:30 kickoffs.
It's the wild.
I've been told everyone else is doing 7, but
everybody else
it could change.
Pretty much do what they want.
Right.
6:30 kickoff would be groovy with me. But
well, yeah. Actually, that's what Bessemer did tonight. So that's what that was. Like he texted me, and I looked down and I put up. I thought he was getting ready, and Brian's like, "Oh no, we've already started." Like game is on, and I totally forgot. Yes, that conference is doing 6:30.
Right.
Kickoffs. All right, guys. Anything else, Tom? Did we give the final scores? Did you?
I gave them about 4 or 5 times. We can do them one more time. Cherryville goes down to Chase, 56-9. Crest over Forest View, 38-13. North Lincoln over West Lincoln, 10-6. Those all last night. Tonight it was 47-0. RS Central defeats East Rutherford. From last night, Burns over South Point, 28-27. Thomas Jefferson over the Community School of Davidson, 25-9. Lincolnton defeats Newton Conover, 27-13. Berry Academy defeats Ashbrook, 31-13. Maiden defeats Bandies, 21-7. Tonight it was Pine Lake Prep over Bessemer City, 52-8. Hunter Huss over North Gaston, 23-0 late in the game. Was not sure what the final score was.
I want to thank one of our watchers online. Tar Heel Warrior says, according to Joe Hughes, 23-0 North Gaston. You didn't put if it was a final Tar Heel. Either way, that's the same score we got right now. So
23-0 Hunter Huss over North
right,
Gaston.
I would say by the time any of us wake up in the morning, North Gaston will not have won that ball game.
Yeah, they probably have a couple more touchdowns.
Safe to say?
Yeah, safe to say.
Okay.
46-6 tonight. Shelby defeats East Gaston. And then last night, it was Ford over Patton, 28-6. High Brighton over Bunker Hill, 50-13. Freedom over St. Stephen's, 18-14. South Iredale, a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 4th, propels them to a 7-2 victory over Alexander Scan. I'm being facetious there. 7-2 was the actual score of a football game. South Iredale defeats Alexander Central. I looked up, couldn't find anything on West Caldwell, East Burke, Watauga, South Caldwell, Christ the King Union Academy, McDowell Hickory. No word on those. Mountain Island, Charter, East Lincoln. That'll be Saturday. Kramer, Kings Mountain. That will be Saturday. And that's all I know, Kevin.
Quick note on Thomas Jefferson, Tom. Their coach, Jerry Cash, picked up his career 350th career win. I don't know if that's at Thomas Jefferson, right? It could be anywhere.
Definitely not at Thomas Jefferson. No. They've not been around that long. They've only had football for the last 10 years.
That's only 35 years of 10 wins, Tom.
Yeah.
Straight.
It's not Thomas Jefferson.
Either wherever he's been, that's pretty good.
Yes.
It's 35 years of 10 wins.
Yes.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We're going to see you in the morning. Next week, folks. Next week. Now, tomorrow we're going to have high school basketball. Chris is going to be on the Shelby radio. Shelby's going to be on Lincoln County radio. And then next week we're going to have 4 games. Hopefully, all the games will be on one night, and we'll have the pregame show starting at 5 o'clock. The postgame show is supposed to be 9:30 to 11:30. Pregame show 5 to 6:30. The stadium shows will be at 6:30 to 7. Kickoff from 7 to 9:30. Then we'll have postgame 9:30 to 11:30 on Friday nights, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight we had some fun highlights, folks. You can go back and watch. We're not deleting these videos. Go back and watch. We put up some highlights for everybody. If you want to hear sound on some of the highlights, maybe and maybe get a little different view, go to our Twitter page at KTC Broadcasting and What's Up Shopper for the actual tweets. What's Up Shopper tweets, of course, brought to you by What'sUpShopper.com. Thanks for listening, everybody, and watching tonight. Tom Sinafani, Kevin Hastings, JP in the house. We'll see you next time.
All right.
The incredible man, I only do